Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with my good friend Aubrey Mae. We will skip the last name for right now. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Dashi's my. Have I mentioned Dashi to you before?
Oh, many times.
So yeah. Oh yeah, Lilith was with me when we got Dashi. So.
Oh yeah, she was.
Yeah, she was. It was 2017. So she. It was last year. It was. Have you ever heard of Dragon Con?
No.
So it's like Comic-Con, but it's put on by the fans. It's not really by any corporations or anything. So it's really cool.
That's fun.
But it's kind of hella disorganized because it's in 5 different hotels in Atlanta, and they're all part of the con, and it's crazy. You can get to each of them like from each other. Like you don't have to step outside because it's hot as fudge down there. But I needed to go live for something, and Lilith comes back from like the gym or wherever she comes back from, and she's like, "I have to tell you something." I was like, "Oh, what? Tell the people." And she's not wearing a bra, and she just goes like, "Oh." So I made it into a short. I cut it into a short on YouTube. It got like 3,400 views. I was like, "Thanks, Liz."
That sounds like her. I love her so much.
Me too. So we go. Well, I'll try to do like origin story for us. We go back to 2015, 14.
Maybe 14. It was definitely like 2014, 2015 for sure.
Yeah, because I deployed early 2016, and we had talked in 2015 about you moving to New Jersey.
We did, yeah.
We definitely didn't meet that same year, and then in like 6 months, like, oh yeah, come live with me. So I feel like we definitely met. What year were you born?
95.
Okay, so yeah, you were definitely an adult. It wasn't like you were like 17.
No, I was like 19. Like
okay. And
yeah.
I was like 20, 23, 20, 24. So it was, yeah, we were both younger.
Are you closer to age? I thought you were older than that.
What's your age? I'm 32 now, but I was born in 90. So
like in my brain, I remember it being a lot bigger than that.
How old did you think I was?
I don't know, but like thinking like 23, 24. Well, I guess at 19, that seems like it's a lot, but
yeah, that's true.
Now that I'm 27, I'm like 23 is a child, a baby.
I feel yeah. Shout out to Wes saying Saturday Nights with Randy and Aubrey. Cheers. So yeah, so we started in 2014, and it happened to be with a Pokemon cosplay group.
Yes.
How did it started with the Team Rocket group beforehand, and then we decided to make our own.
We jumped ship on that one. And then
was it Ashley? Who started it? Who wanted to do it?
It was Ash for sure.
Ashley. I think I jumped ship because like I remember we had a selfie thread, and everyone was gorgeous, and I was like, oh my god, everyone was.
It was outrageous.
Yeah, that was. I think we were the hottest cosplay Pokemon page out there. You never got any Pokemon tattoos, did you?
Not yet.
Chris Sophie says, looking back, did anyone think they'd ever spend their Saturday watching a 32-year-old Air Force veteran talk about NFTs, pop culture, and sometimes aliens for 2 hours straight? That is what happens, though. Yeah, we do that sometimes. So I guess origin story in 2014, where were you in life? You were 19 years old, and you were where? Oregon?
Well, yeah. Well, 2014, I was 18, and I had just left my hometown and moved to Oregon.
Mm-hmm. Why? Yeah. Why'd you leave and go to the Oregon?
Okay, well, I'm from a really, really small town in Kansas, like 3,000 people type of small. And I had been in the same town with the same people my entire life. And so I turned 18, and it was my opportunity to be like, I'm out. So I took off to Oregon and have been here for almost 10 years.
So that's the type of town where like you knew everyone. It's like
unfortunately, which is like I hated it because everyone also knew you and your business. All the time.
Who are the people that stood out in that community that you're just like, you know what? Most of this town might kind of suck, but these people are really cool.
Oh, my best friend Christina. We're still best friends. I was just video chatting with her last night.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she's still my best friend ever since she moved to my town when we were in 7th grade. So definitely Christina. I guess there's a few other people, but for the most part, it wasn't for me.
Nice. Do you know a Catherine?
Hi, Catherine.
Like,
That's my wife.
That's your new wife.
That's my baby.
Is that the next Mrs. Randy Chavez?
Yes, it's me.
It's not the first time I've been asked this. It was Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con 2022. Yeah, I think it was last year, and I happened to ask this woman where the bathroom was because I've only been to the San Diego Comic-Con a couple of times, so I wasn't really 100% sure. And I was just live streaming at the time. I was just live streaming the con, and she was Colombian, like Shakira, so she had like the accent, and she was kind of cute. And I guess I was like smiling because I was also pretty drunk. So then I noticed after I leave, the comments is like, "Is this the next Mrs. Randy Chavez?" It's like,
you have like a little meet cute. You're like, where's the bathroom? And then it's your wife.
Thank you, Omar, for being a member. Hello. So all right, so you go to Oregon, and then you do what in Oregon?
Oh my.
Going way back.
Yeah, so the reason why I chose Oregon is because on Craigslist I found an advertisement for a work for trade farm. And I was like, well, anywhere to go because I was broke. I literally just graduated high school and moved on to the work for trade farm and started working for them. And they let me live in one of their like little bunk houses, I guess, in trade for work, where I shared a room with like 9 other people.
Oh, damn. No privacy.
Literally none ever under like at all because we had the bunk houses and then our bathrooms were porta potties.
So they part of the payment was you got to live there. How much did you make on top of that? That's not a ton.
No money.
Oh, so how did you like? I know like you got to live there, but how could you afford like food and how could you afford like?
They fed us because it was a farm.
Okay.
Massive.
And then
huge.
So is that like indentured servitude?
Yes, looking back on it now as an adult. I mean, as 18 years old, I was like, this is dope. This is so cool. There's definitely nothing wrong with this at all. But now looking back, I was like, oof, like it was a way to like, and then when I told them I wanted to get a job to like make actual income, they were not happy. They were super not happy about that. It was like a way of getting people to stay and do free work for their farm for them, essentially so that they could make money.
Who did this? I don't know who this is. The unreal. I got $1 for every time Randy bought a girl on, and someone thought it was the next Mrs. Randy Chavez. I'd be rich.
Yeah, but the joke is, I am the next Mrs. Randy Chavez.
It almost happened once. We'll get into that as we. We'll get into that as we move. Don't make that face. It's like you ever see that interview with the Harry Potter kids? I mean, they're adults now, but the trio. There's like, oh yeah, they talk about Ron and Hermione. Oh, you guys had a kiss. What was that like? And Ron's reaction was like, oh yeah, that was great. And Emma Watson's reaction was like, like, well, I had to do it. You know, it was part of the movie, part of the gig.
Yeah.
Okay, so we left off. You were in white slavery, and they
white slavery.
Well, if you were like minority, it'd be normal slavery. So you had the.
That's not funny.
It's a little funny. So we have you doing that. So there's like Scientology. They don't want you like getting out. They don't want you getting freedom. How'd you wind up leaving that if you couldn't save money because you had none?
My brother had moved to Oregon months prior to when I did. And had just split from his girlfriend, like right before I decided to leave the farm. And So I moved in with him into a studio bedroom or whatever, a studio apartment. It was super small, and our apartment was like right above the heated indoor swimming pool of the apartment complex, and so it was like the nastiest, sweatiest, hottest situation I had ever been in my life. It was so gross.
Oh, reminds me of Kuwait. Good times, kind of. Sen had a comment in confessions. Do you remember, like 20 years ago? You might not. Usher had confessions like 1 through 20. Like,
yeah, I love them.
I remember this one girl I was dating. Still remember her name, Costanza Pizarro. I got like super jealous because we were like super young, and she's talking with her friends. Like, I'm with her, like I'm right next to her, and she's talking with her friends about Usher and his confessions. And on one scene, he's just, chest popping out to here, abs out the yin yang. It's like he is so hot when he takes his shirt off. And I was like, Mr. Krabs talking to SpongeBob, like, hey. He's like, you ever see that episode? SpongeBob, like, you ever think Mr. Krabs does karate? Hey, oh. So and then she's like, what? I was like, never mind. Anyway, so you go there, and then you move into your brother, and then you start to do what?
Give me like 2 seconds. My son's supposed to be taking a nap, but he's yelling at me right now. So give me like
okay. All right, go take care of that.
2 seconds just to make sure.
I'll entertain the crew.
Okay.
So everyone, it's been about 10 hours since I've been live, and a little bit has happened. There's not a ton of Omi and Vivi news. There actually isn't a lot of drops that are announced for next week. I don't know why. I don't think it's really has anything to do with, they're saving for Comic-Con. It's just because they just haven't announced it yet. They'll announce it, I imagine. Today's Saturday, right? Yeah, today's Saturday. So they'll probably announce something tomorrow for Tuesday. So we'll get a break. Actually, tomorrow's Feesh. We have Feesh tomorrow. And then we'll have an announcement for Tuesday, most likely tomorrow after the Feesh. And then I'm going to get a little bit more Omi. I have an in real life deal going on where I might be able to get the funds for that $5,000 logo. I don't know if I will, but I might be able to do that. If it doesn't go through, which I'm kind of hoping it doesn't, I will just buy more Omi. I mean, the deal will get done either way, but I do kind of want to get more Omi. Anyway, isn't it like was it 6 by you, 7 by you? What time is it by you?
It's 6.
How are you napping at 6 at night?
He's kind of a night owl, a little bit.
Okay.
He's not feeling great, and we've had a really long day. So,
I did take him to Chuck E. Cheese.
We did take him to Chuck E. Cheese. He's got some kind of congestion going on, nap when you can kind of situation.
I feel you.
He's 4, so it's like, it's Saturday night. I'm more lenient with him, so it's like Saturday we kind of stay up and like watch movies and hang out.
Oh yeah, it's the weekend. Yeah, it's fine.
Whatever. He's only in preschool. It's not like that.
Oh yeah, that's chill. That's fine. So you've had. Okay, so what did you do for work when you got to the place? We moved in with your brother, and you.
Yeah. My brother was actually riding his bike by an Arby's once, and their bush caught on fire because someone flicked a cigarette in it, and he put it out, and the manager offered him a job, and my brother was like, "I don't need a job, but my sister does," and so I got a job at Arby's.
Nice. They well, I love their sandwiches. I don't think it's in the US, although I feel like it should be. I saw an ad for like basically just a cheese sandwich. There's just so much cheese on it, and there's like one little. Do you have it near you?
No, I don't think so. But I mean, I'm not going to order a cheese mountain.
Is that what it's called?
I don't know. It's huge.
Yeah, it's great. I want to try it. Anyway, so you do that at Arby's, okay, and then I assume this is when I had entered your life via Pokémon.
Pretty close. I was still living in Portland at that time.
Okay, so what?
Yeah.
That's what kind of Pokemon? Well, I'll ask you 2 questions. What kind of Pokemon are you? Like the song, And then who is your starter?
What kind of Pokemon am I?
Yeah, you know that song, like, what kind of Pokemon are you?
I was Skitty in the group.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I was Skitty.
Yeah,
'Cause
you
I think Skitty's cute. I don't know.
were. Skitty is cute. And then who's your first starter?
Who was my first starter?
Mhm.
Charmander.
Oh, so you played the old games first.
I did.
Unless
Yeah,
you
I started with yellow.
Oh, okay. So you didn't start with like Fire Red or Leaf Green. Like you started with the first gen.
Yeah, I've been playing since first gen. I
With
haven't played
yellow.
any of the newer ones, unfortunately. But yes. I go back to yellow. I actually have my original copy of yellow like over here underneath my TV.
So it doesn't still work, does it?
Yeah, it does. I can
The original save
because I have the adapter to like my N64 like on the controller, and you pop the
yeah, for Pokemon Stadium and Stadium
like
2.
the old Game Boy games in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it still has a memory. Like you can save and
Yeah.
wow, I thought those only lasted like max like 20 years, which would have been like 5 years ago.
Mine's still well, I mean last time I checked it's been a couple years, but like it still worked a couple years ago. So I don't know.
My gold version, which I had like a couple thousand hours on. I didn't have a lot of friends when I was super young, but I had the battery died in like 2012. Like it wouldn't save anymore and it reset. And I was like, no. But yeah, all right. So that was your starter. I get a little sad for some of the kids now that they didn't start with that. And if they don't have parents to tell them like, oh no, you should start with these games and work your way up. Because there's like a whole have you seen those videos of the storylines of people going and saying like, hey, here's where it starts, and like 3 hours later, like here's where it finishes, and there's a bunch of it gets into the multiverse. It's really wild.
No, I haven't seen that.
You have homework, Missy.
I do.
You do. Yeah, N64. Good times. So when hindsight your life, you're 19 at this point. You're in Portland somewhere, and we get into this group.
Yeah.
We have a group chat going because
Yep.
we all love each other. I saw Claudia last year. She visited me when I was in San Diego Comic-Con.
I saw that.
Yeah, she is not a good driver. We almost died, and like so we're on this the turn. We're about to go left, but there's no like left turn signal. It's green, and you have to wait for there to be a break before you go. Like there's no left turn signal where the other cars stop. So she's like, do I go? I was like, I don't want to because if I say go and then she hesitates, like I don't want to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, it's your call. So she goes, and she goes so slowly, and I accepted it. I was like, this car's coming. I'm gonna break the entire right side of my body. I just accepted it, and I was like,
Here we go.
But then the car like slams on its brakes, goes, and Katie's like, sorry, and then keeps driving. I was like, okay, I'll drive next time. And I was drunk as fuck, so I was like, I would rather be a big truck than her driving. But we didn't have to. I didn't have to drive at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a wild time. So we go and we see each other. Do you remember your first impression of me?
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think back on it. You were always like, you're the really goofy dude.
I still am.
I mean, everybody in there was like silly. Like we were all buddies. Like truly, like I remember spending like hours talking to you guys, just like nonstop in chat. But you were the goofy one. You like always pop up and say some like absolutely bonkers shit and then pop out. Like I think that was definitely this impression.
Yeah, that was fun. The only one I like hated, or I just everyone I loved except for this one person that I at first just didn't like him, and then I just hated the dude Andrew. I think it was Andrew. You remember? Yeah, him.
I do.
Lilith sent me a text message one day. It was like a screenshot of their chat, and it was him messaging hey and like giving like the wavy hand sign, and she had like left him on red like multiple times, and she sent me a photo of like him doing that like 7 times, I was like, oh my God, like just like delete him, like block him. And she's like, I like to see how pathetic he is. I was like, oh God.
Yeah, he did that. He did that to me too. But I played into it for a little bit because I wanted to be nice, but it got like really creepy really fast. So even for like a couple years after like he wasn't in the group anymore, he still like periodically would try and hit me up. And I'm like, please stop.
So we have the group, we have the selfie thing, and then you ever see that meme where it's like when somebody messages you outside of the group chat, like, why we whispering, fam? Do you remember who messaged who?
Between me and you?
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
No, me neither.
You want me to look?
When who slid into whose DMs?
Right. It was probably you.
Probably. Yeah, because I felt like you were a little more shy, just a little more reserved.
A little bit, yeah. I still am.
Because I remember, and this is like a couple months after flirting, and I don't think it was like to move. It was just like to visit, just to visit. Yeah. I was like, as soon as I see you, I'm just gonna tackle you and kiss you. And you're like, oh my God, I would just blush. And then I was like, okay, all right, it's a little, all right, we'll go slower then. But do you remember how it started?
That sounds like me.
Do you remember how the flirtation started?
No.
I have
a shit memory.
Same. But speaking of memories, in my Facebook memories, a couple of things came up today.
Oh, Lord.
So one was 7 years ago, where I say, what do I do in Austria as soon as I wake up? Have a belching contest with Aubrey Mae, of course. She may have won this round, but like a bean burrito, I shall return. I don't know.
I thought it one today too.
So can you give us a little should we do a demonstration?
I've been drinking a lot of Coke.
I've been drinking a lot of this stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. That makes me nervous. Hold on.
Okay. We can wait.
I feel like there's a lot of pressure on me now.
No pressure at all. We just go and
Nope, I can't do it now.
Okay. Well, we'll do it when we don't expect it. I'll be in the middle of talking and just interrupt me with that.
We'll come back.
And then was there? I thought there was another one. Maybe there wasn't. No, there wasn't. That was the only thing. There was another thing. I forget what it was though. I could look it up. I'll look it up later. And then I think what really got me like serious about it was I mentioned I was going to like Europe or something, and then your mom commented on it. How is she, by the way?
She's good. She lives back home in Kansas again. She got remarried, so
good for her.
She's doing good. Yeah.
She commented, "Is like you're gonna take Aubrey with you, right? Like when I was going to Europe." I was like, I guess she wants to come.
She wanted me to go so bad. I remember her talking to me about it that night.
Did you ever wind up making it out to Europe at some point?
No, I have not left the continental United States yet.
Dude, it's so much fun. It's wild.
Love to. I want to. Just hasn't happened.
A lot of it's, Italy's great, but it's really expensive. Austria is fun because you just stay with Lilith and you don't really have to pay for anywhere. I was about to say I would go for Lilith for sure. Yeah, and then she's living with a gentleman now. She's
about her Instagram
with this guy Hannes, I believe his name is. We know each other like in passing. We haven't like talked to each other yet. Seems like a cool dude. But we had Germany, same thing. I have a bunch of people that I used to serve with back in the day, and they'll give me a place to stay. So if you want to go, totally go. Oh, all right. So in the same thing, you posted on my timeline of, and it looks like the post is taken down because you just.
It's just your name.
Yeah. So
and people laughed at it. So I mean.
Yeah. And I was like, haha, us. But I don't know what it was. I can't recall. So since we're talking about it, so you have, well, and we don't have to talk about this, or if we do, we'll talk about it later. You had gotten married, you had a kid, and what is love to you? How would you define it in your own words?
Oh, what is love to me? That's a big question. I think my lesson with being in love and being married was finding perfection in the imperfections of someone else. So like, I don't know how to explain it, but when you love somebody, nobody's going to ever be perfect, right? Like no one's ever going to have or, behave exactly the way you want. Like we're all humans, but you find the love in that they're human and that you just like work together to find the perfection. I guess that's the best way that I can explain it.
So I know you're not meaning it like this, but I do want to kind of bring it up just for people who might interpret it like this. There's a song by Stephen Stills saying, "Love the one you're with." And like, if you heard it, like, "Love the one you're with,"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, is that how you're interpreting that? Like, hey, this person maybe is not my dream person, but they are close enough where I'm willing to settle.
I don't say settle for anything. I don't think you should have to settle to find your person. But also saying dream person, I think is unrealistic.
Yes.
Because like even your dream person is going to like have issues and going to have days and going to have problems and, things that they need to get past in their life or like traumas or, who knows what they have been through. And you just have to find a way to love them through that. I think that's what's most important. Find two people that are willing to like work through those things together.
Do you think that is more common in the last 20, 30 years about having to support one another, where I feel like years ago it was just like kind of the man supporting the woman, and now it's a little bit more, not 50-50, but it's closer to that?
Yeah, I think we could say it's a man supporting a woman as it was like 20, 30 years ago. But however, like the woman did like the other half of the things that the man didn't do. That was just like a traditional marriage. Now I think it's more well-rounded, more like inclusive of both people on the sides of relationships, I guess you could say. So yeah, I guess maybe it's more modern in thinking, but I feel like it's also more fair.
Have you heard of passport bros?
No.
So I can't tell how, I haven't done any, like, I haven't asked Twitter, I haven't asked, but there's a portion of people, of men, that say like, hey, Western women are harder to deal with. Go get your passport and go to the Philippines or go to like Dominican Republic and get yourself like a wife there. And the people that I see saying it on like TikTok are like, oh, okay, you're like a good looking dude and you work out and like whatever. But I feel like the people that like comment and follow on it and that like retweet it and like support it are all like not good quality people at all. They're just like very out of shape, and the guys are just like, they don't have a good job, but which is fine, like, you don't, but
Yep.
Yeah, that's
No, I mean, I say if you think that you need to get a passport and go to another country to get a woman or a person for you, then have at it. Western women don't want you, so go for it.
I have now there's the maybe real Randy Chavez. There's a lot of what's that called? People on here that are claiming to be me. I don't.
The real Randy Chavez.
Is that Randy's the maybe? I don't know, but that's a horrible photo of me.
Is that Randy's brother? Are they talking about the other guy? Or are they talking about me?
They're talking about the other guy.
I'll be Randy's brother. That's fine.
You can't be my brother and marry me. That's not gonna work. What, like, it's not like
I wouldn't have to change my last name.
you're you've watched Supernatural, right?
No.
Really?
Yeah, hit me. I know. I've heard it.
Oh, what's up, Aubrey? So there's two brothers. It's Sam and Dean Winchester, and
I know about it. I just haven't seen it.
So there's like young, good-looking guys. They're tall. They're handsome. They're just beautiful men. No homo. And there's these. so there's these Tumblr girls that I feel like Tumblr is like the girl version of like 4chan or Reddit, and
Stop. That's accurate.
So and they do a fan fiction writing, and I'm not gonna lie, most of the fan fiction I've read are crap, but some of the fan fictions I've read are amazing, like really good, like as good if not better than source material. Anyway, there's a lot of fan fiction of Sam and Dean.
Mm-hmm.
And 40% of it is fine, and well, a lot of it's crap, and some of it's really good. But there's this very loud minority of people that write what's called wincest, and it's about Sam and Dean on their adventures, but they're like, they're getting it on with each other. And the first time I read this, I was like, what is going on over here? And it got very, very graphic, and it's a large part of like these like teenage girls. I didn't know if you were one of those. You just reminded me with the brother and the marriage, and I need a drink, so I'm gonna.
I was not a part of that. I was on Tumblr in that era, and I read a lot of weird stuff too. But
there was one time where. So it was 2019. I go to Florida with my, at the time, friend Jill, and we had taken a bunch of acid, and
I remember this.
Yeah, so we go to Harry Potter World, and I get a Lucius Malfoy cane, and it's awesome. Yeah, so it's and then get his wand.
That's pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. So we're in the mood. I got my Donkey Kong tattoo like literally on the Lucy, on the acid. And anyway, later that night, I didn't know I did this until like a couple weeks later. I emailed my friend Kara, like on her military email, like apparently 12 pages of Harry Potter erotica fan fiction. And I don't remember doing it, and so I understand why people write it. Apparently, it's fun. I don't remember it, but that is what I did.
Yeah, no more internet for you. You're done.
So all right, where were we? We were on the love. Okay, you got really upset with me one night because I was deploying, and I did want you to come to New Jersey. But then I was like, are you going to come here for like a month? And then suddenly I'm not here for 7 months. And then, do you remember that at all? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Tell me your version, your story. And then
I had just left home and moved to Oregon when we met, and we were like really good buddies, and then we like started talking a little bit there for a while, and you wanted me to move to New Jersey, but I felt like at the time that was like a huge ask of me, like where I was at. Like I wanted to, because I was like, I had moved to Oregon by myself. I can totally like move to New Jersey. Like what's gonna stop me? Like I'm 18, 19, whatever. Like
19. Don't make me be like a cradle rock.
I was 19. Okay, it was 2015. It was definitely after the first year of me being in Oregon, but I was like, fuck it, like I could totally move to New Jersey. But then that was a gigantic ask. I feel like that made me nervous, being like, I would move there and it would be cool to see you, and then you'd be gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, bye. And now I'm here actually alone.
I mean, you would have stayed in a place that was paid for.
Yeah, still scary.
No. It would have been actually, at the time I was living with my friend Brian and his, at the time, wife Rhea. So that was fun. So I moved in 2015, and Brian was he was one of my first supervisors. He's a really cool dude. Played guitar in a band with my friend Keely, and so they would, after work, I would go to the gym after work, and when I would come home, him and Keely would just be finishing up practicing for their band stuff. So I would take a shower. His wife Rhea was from the Philippines. He was he was stationed in Guam in 2012 or whatever, and she happened to be there just working, and they met and they fell in love, and he brought her back here. So she was a great cook. So she would be cooking. We would have dinner. She had 2 dogs who were running around, and we'd play rock band afterwards. It was just an awesome time, and you would have had a lot of fun. And I wanted you to come so bad. And then, so obviously in the timeline that is now, you didn't come. We still stayed friends.
Yep.
Obviously romantic interest diverged, or went to opposite places. And then
we just didn't want the same things in life, and that's totally fine.
Yeah, you wanted kids, which you got. You got it.
I did poop one out. He's in there yelling at me right now. I can hear him.
And I'm thinking about it more and more. I'm still no on the kids, but
hold on, he's yelling at me. Give me I swear he knew that you mentioned him, and now he's going off again.
Of course. That past my bro's point right there. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely for that. I mean, if it's to what people want, some guys are old school. They want to go submissive. Some guys want a strong, independent one where there's hey, I don't, they just more of a partnership, like Bill and Hillary Clinton, or Frank and what's the name, Underwood, where they go and they have more of a partnership. And I mean, to be honest, for me right now, I'd probably be a passport bro. I just, not because I want to, I just don't have the time to go and dedicate to a relationship. I just don't have the time to go and dedicate to because if you're with someone, you want to, most women rightfully so, hey, come on, take me out at least once a week. Okay, you deserve that. Okay, so everything all good in the motherhood land?
Oh yeah, he's fine. He just didn't want to take a nap, and now I think he's crankier than ever, but it's fine.
I understand. So you had the kid, pooped one out, which is great. And we'll get more on that in a while. But how's the imagine? Have you seen the Marvel What If series?
No.
Oh, so good. Certain episodes. There's a bunch of episodes, and certain ones are really good, and some are okay. So let's imagine this is a What If series. It's what if when Tony Stark was attacked, like Kilgrave, he was the one that fought off the the attackers, and suddenly he's Tony Stark. Or if Ultron had gone on and won. So in this What If series, let's kind of pretend and play out the dominoes of if you did come to New Jersey, and if you had stayed, you had a good time, and you didn't write me a Dear John letter, and then you waited for me, and it came back. How do you think those dominoes would have played out?
Oof. Okay. So as an old woman who's had a lot of life experiences since then, because we didn't want the same things, it ultimately, I don't think, would have played. And I hate being like
Probably.
the bearer of bad news, I guess. But like, I like can't imagine like trying to make two people happy in a situation that they don't want to like be in. You know what I mean? Like I would never like, because I wanted a family. I wanted kids. I remember that was like a huge thing for me back then.
Yeah. I remember.
Why put that pressure onto somebody who's like, nope, that's not what I want, you know? And for like valid reasons, you had very like fair reasons for not wanting children. But then also to be like telling me at the time, like, you don't get to have something that you've always wanted. It just doesn't seem fair.
Would you have, if I had said like, hey, give me a couple of years, would you have like postponed that and put it on like, hey, I'm 20 now, you know, we can afford to wait until I'm like 23, 25? Because obviously come from a small town, I have a bunch of friends that's what they do. They get married at 19, 20 and they have kids. And
I didn't want it right then. I wasn't like, let's go right now. It was, and like, eventually.
I think we probably could have come to an agreement where I was like, okay,
You think that?
Yeah. I guarantee you if 20, yeah, because you were, so it's 20, so at 2016 you were
20
mostly because your birthday's in December.
Don't mess it up. I swear to God, Randy.
I don't know. Mine's the 15th and yours is within like a week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what date.
It's the 12th, 12/12.
Oh, yes, you're right. Okay. So
I was like, they're so close together. I was like, do not mess this up right now.
So if I would have said, hey, let's wait, you know, so you're 20 about to turn 21. Let's wait until you're 25. Would you have agreed to that?
I don't know.
Would part of you think that, hey, he says that now, but when push comes to shove at 25, how do I know that, you know, it's going to happen?
I think I'm trying to think of it in like how I would have thought of it at that time, like at 20, like 19, 20.
Oh yeah, not your mindset now.
Not how I'm like thinking now, because 19, I was like
20.
Okay, you keep bumping up the age. You're the one who's
okay.
At 20. At 19, 20, whatever. It was 2015, 2016. So
okay, yeah.
At that age, I probably would have been like, in my brain, that's too far away. You know, it's like, like if he doesn't want to commit, like that would have like probably messed with me.
Oh, I would have. So if you would have come here, if I was like, oh, well, how's this for committing? I would just reach my pocket, bring out like a ring, and be like, you know, because in the military you want to go and you kind of want to get married as soon as possible because you get that basic allowance for how you get that separation pay every time I would deploy.
Right.
I would have stayed in. I would have stayed in, and I'd be like, I would deploy as often as I could, make that money, not knowing that the money that you make is kind of peanuts compared to what you can make civilian side. Because I never had a big boy job before then. I was working in animal hospitals as a veterinary assistant, or doing whatever. So if I had said that, with compromise, like, okay, marriage but no kids, would you have done it? What, for no kids for the first couple?
As a 19, 20-year-old, I was absolutely impulsive. Of course I would have. Are you stupid? I was like, literally, I was so impulsive. Like, literally, I had barely known you, and you're like, move to New Jersey. And I'm like, okay, packing. Like, I was so impulsive. Now I'm like terrified of commitment. But
Same.
At that age, I've been like, you fucking like, whatever. I didn't know there was a question that was intense.
There's a comic, a Spider-Man comic. Like, so Spider-Man has a spidey sense.
Right.
And he can see things kind of before they happen, kind of like, Jedi in the Force. But you can block it. You can overpower it. There has to be a significant like emotional trigger for you to block the spidey sense.
Mm-hmm.
So he's having like an argument with chug.
It was like the tiniest bit. I was like, I'm just gonna drink it.
he's having an argument with Felicia Hardy, who's Black Cat. She's kind of a thief, like an anti-hero. She's not evil. She just steals every now and then. She's like, he catches her kind of stealing like a jewel, like a big jewel, whatever. And she's like, listen, we can't like be together while you are trying to catch me in these like little petty crimes that are good for me. Nobody's getting hurt. This is insured. He's like, I know, but it's like, no, you're not understanding. We can't be together like this while you're doing this. So, marry me. And he's like, oh, what? So then she ducks, claws at his legs, because that emotional trigger canceled out his spidey sense, so he couldn't see while she was going to swipe at his legs. And he goes and he's like, ow, my legs. And she's like, oh, I knew it could block it out. I didn't think I'd be able to do it with that, though. He's like, ow, my legs and my feelings.
And my feelings.
So
that's me.
Yeah, I would have done that. But like I said, I would not be in the place that I am now. I would have been in the military until like 2020. And by that time the pandemic was happening. I'd be like, guess I'll stay in some, I don't know.
I think it's like unfair to ask like people to do things that they don't want to do. Especially when it involves like a drastic change to their entire life. You know what I mean? You're like, I don't want children, I don't want to get married and all that stuff. And I was like, I do. And it's like asking either of us to like not have those things, I feel like would be unfair.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I've talked about it with older girlfriends before. Like this girl Erica I was with in 2014. She couldn't have kids. And I was like, oh, my lady. So I was like 23 and she was 33. And
I remember that.
Yeah. So I have to tell you about the older, like since then, I've only dated, since I was 19, I've only dated 2 girls in their 20s. The rest have been 30s and 40s, and like 1 or 2 in their 50s. Anyway, we had agreed that if we ever did want kids one day, that we would adopt, but like a 9-year-old, so so I was kind of open to it, but just like, those first few years are hard, and they are, yeah,
I got a 4-year-old.
Yeah, so
after doing it on my own, I'm like, whew.
And then from what I've seen, the kids are pretty chill for a while, and then the teenage years comes, and then they're just like,
it's hard again.
Yeah, it's really hard. Like kids don't give a fudge about your feelings. And then
my 4-year-old doesn't right now give a fuck about my feelings.
Get the worst.
He roasted me the other day pretty hard. So
what'd he say?
Oh my God. I'm debating on if I want to say it. Okay, so like on The Office, they like boom roasted. Michael did. Oh, boom roasted.
Yeah.
Tortuga. Hi, Tortuga. On The Office, Michael did like the boom roasted. He'd like roast people and then like, boom roasted. Anyway, so I taught Asher that, and usually he says absolute nonsense. Usually it's just like you're a poop face, boom roasted, or something like that. We were in Dairy Queen, and Asher and I were sharing a meal together. It was nice. We were chatting and doing some boom roasteds while we were sitting there eating our meals. I roasted him, and then he comes back at me out of nowhere. So I've gained a lot of weight over the years, and he goes, "You look like you like to eat boom roasted." Out of nowhere. I was like, that is the meanest thing you can say. I was like, he doesn't even like, I think he was like taking the context clues of like, we're sitting in a restaurant eating food together. Like usually they don't make any sense. Like he'll just look at something, he'll be like, you look like a banana boom roasted. Like, but that one, it was like, you look like you like to eat. And I was like, I don't think he realized how much that actually hurt. I was like, we're done playing. We're done. No more talking. It's over.
So There's this guy, Wes. Like he roasts me a lot, and it's fine because he's a member. He pays me each month a little bit, and he I had hurt the most embarrassing way to hurt my back. It's not wasn't from a PI job. It wasn't from like a boxing, like wasn't from a fight. I was playing pickleball, and I run super fast to get to the ball, and my legs stop, and my torso keeps going forward. I was like, ah, and then it hurt, and I kept playing because we had like just started, and then I was like in bed for like 2 weeks. So like my subscribers know this, and they're just like, Wes goes and he says one day, like unexpected heat out of nowhere, it's like, Randy's hairline is as fragile as his back. And I was like, oh.
Stop.
Dude, they keep me laughing so much that it's so, like there's this guy Mike H that comes in sometimes. So we had Stan. Stan had literally bought the shirt off my back like a couple weeks ago, where he's like, "How much for the shirt?" I was like, "I mean, I gotta wash it. It's already got like holes in it." He's like, "No, I want it unwashed."
Raw.
I was like, like $50. So he super chatted me like $50. So I sent it to him. His PO box where it was. Cheers, Stan. But yeah, like people keep me laughing so much, and I feel bad for people that like don't have laughter in their lives. It's a lot of fun.
I enjoy it too. If anybody wants to roast me, like please do. I'm totally.
Have you seen the Reddit roast me's?
Yes. Ooh, they get rough, dude. They get hard, and it's like I love being roasted. I'm totally fine, like taking a joke. Cool. Like when Asher hit me, I like with that, I like cracked up. I couldn't stop. I was like, it was so funny. But the roast me scare me a little bit. I was like, damn, I don't know. Like I might get my feelings hurt like a little too fast. Like
roast us. There was
roast. I'm down.
Do you remember the roast yourself challenge?
Maybe.
It was in 2016, and I remember because I did it. It was like one of my first YouTube videos. I was deployed. I was in Kuwait. One of the I asked Facebook like, "Hey, do your worst and roast me," and then I put those responses into the roast yourself challenge. And this one girl, Jenny, I think you might remember her.
I'm so friends with Jenny.
Yeah, she's cool. Her mom was in the army. She was dating this. She dated my ex Amber. Yeah, it was. So wow. I don't think Amber knew how old she was, and yeah, because I think Jenny was like 16, and Amber was older than I was. Yeah, and
Jenny.
Well, she dated her before I dated Amber, I think. As I dated Amber in 2017, I think Amber dated her before me. And anyway, I asked for like the roast me challenge on Facebook, and she's like, I hope that your friends have to see you in a flag draped coffin. I was like, oh my god.
Oh my god, that's rough.
So I put it in the roast me challenge, and I remember my friend Kelly. I was like, "Yo, Kelly, spit me a beat," and he's like, "So." And then I do the roast myself challenge, and then he doesn't know what I'm about to say, and then I say something. So I do the flag draped coffin, and I was going. She's like, "Oh, Chavi," and I was like, it ruined the beat. It was like, it was the greatest thing ever.
Is this still available on the internet somewhere that I can watch?
So there was a video I did, Prince Reserve, saying Randy as a dad would be pretty epic. Instead of throwing baseballs, he could teach kids how to play Mario Kart and chop wood for TikTok videos. I did a wood chopping video because, like, I don't know if you've seen them because you're big on TikTok. Have you seen this guy? I think he's just in suspenders. I don't even think he has a shirt on.
Sexy wood dude.
Yeah. So
yeah, I've seen Sexy Wood Man.
You follow him, and so my friend, there was a tree that fell down, and it like almost cut like our pool. Like it hit part of the pool that we have in the backyard. So hey, we need to move this, but it was too big. So I was like, we got an axe. So I was like chopping, but I couldn't. The way it was landed, I had my back to the pool, and I couldn't do the full, or else like I would have hit the pool on the backswing.
Ah.
So when I'm doing it, I'm like kind of doing it to the side and then going like this, and so it just looked awkward. And everyone was commenting like, I remember the first time I chopped wood. I was like, no, but like, you don't understand.
Should have just hit the pool. That would have made for a good video.
Those kids now. Aubrey does have a kid.
One singular.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Hey, BB. Oh, the Catherine says, don't do it. Not 100% the idea of parenthood. It's so hard. I've heard.
Exactly.
Apple Pie Hand says hi.
Apple, what's up, baby? Oh my gosh. All my peoples.
Your bays.
I did. I sent the link in the Discord that I'm in with all my
Nice.
buddies. And I was like, hey, if anyone wants to show up, I'm going to be embarrassing myself on the internet today. Again. I do usually, but it's usually on TikTok.
Yeah, you had a viral video. It was it got a couple 100,000 views, right?
Like 400,000. I've got it's got a little over 40,000 likes on it, and I'm crying in the car, so that's great. I made it. I'm sobbing, and I'm a little drunk. A little bit. That evening, and then I remember passing out, like going to bed that night, waking up the next morning being like, oh my god, I put a video on TikTok, that's embarrassing, I'm gonna delete it. Opened it, too late, viral, oops. It was too late, so I left it up there. And that's
so I guess we can get, well, before we get into this, we'll go in. So I was watching while I was getting back to some messages, my messages are never going to be caught up. I just put on a playlist on YouTube before this. I was catching up with it, and there's one of the songs that came on was "All I Want Is Everything" from the Victorious cast. You remember that show?
Yeah.
So it's like,
I forgot about that show.
I feel delirious. Come, let's get out of here. And I was like, oh, such a good. So I watched the video. Such a good song. And I realized like that's kind of got emotional because, I'm a little tipsy. But then also at the same time, it's these kids that kind of don't really know how good they have it. And they're living the dream. They're performing, they're on a show, and they're performing in the show. They're in like the prime of their lives. And I don't know, it got me to the point where it's like, I guess because I'm a little old, I'm much older now. And like the time kind of went, and I was like, so what song gets you like emotional? What song makes you nostalgic, gets you in the feels, gets you like thinking about life?
Oh, that's a good question. That's so fun. Well, that's a loaded question. I feel like I have so many songs that make me nostalgic, and that's what I listen to most of the time is like older music.
Same.
From when I was like a little emo kid. I think, okay. Hold on. I'm pulling up my list right now because there's one.
Get that list. Get it. Apple Pie Hands and Catherine going at it.
That sounds like them.
Are they a couple?
Hi, Cat. They might as well be.
You might as well be, guys. Y'all should get that bread. Y'all should do it.
Just call me before you guys, please. Who hasn't seen Sexy Woodman? Seriously, he's the best. I'm going to say If It Means a Lot to You by A Day to Remember.
How's that go?
I'm not going to sing it.
Well, just like a line, like, how I said.
I'm singing it in my head now so I can get through the chorus. Because I can't come back home till they're singing la, 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 la. Now everyone is singing. Anyways.
I don't know the song.
Wait till I get home. No.
I don't know the song, but I like it.
that we can make this last. That song makes me cry every time.
Really?
It's good.
So if you're like in Target or like a grocery store and it comes on, you're just like bawling while you pick out cereal.
It wouldn't, but yes, I would. It would not come on in Target, but if it did, absolutely, every time. It was a song that like me and my ex had.
So okay, we're gonna go with there.
Oh,
There's I've had a couple of songs. With this one girl, Brittany, it was my first love. It was
cute.
Bon Jovi's "Living on a Prayer," because
That song.
we were young, we were kids, and everyone's like, "You're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it." No, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it, and then we didn't make it. but that was our song, like "Living on a Prayer."
That was that song for us too, which is so funny.
Really? Wait, for who? For us?
My ex. No.
Oh, did we have a song?
Pokemon theme song.
Well, it can't be the first, but we have to have another theme song. It can't be the first one because I feel like that's sacred.
It's sacred.
It is.
No one can claim it.
If we were to have a Pokemon, have you heard of Misty's Goodbye?
No. Maybe.
So it's goodbye. Funny how that's such a hard thing to say. Now it's time to let go, but I never thought I'd feel this way. Let's try not to be sad, but we both knew I was lying. Gotta fight back the tears. I can't let you see me crying. You're more than just my best friend. What makes me misty most of all, and our final curtain call, is knowing that I won't see you again. And it's a quick 30-something second song. Obviously, that's really sad. I don't think we should, have that. But that
we
gets
never
me
really said goodbye.
We've technically never met.
That too, but also like I don't know. It was like we're like this isn't gonna work out for us, but like never stopped like talking or being friends.
No, it's because I love you, man.
I know.
Yeah.
And I care about you. I love you so much, Randy. Like I know that like I can call you when I need you, and like.
Same.
And I hope you know that you can call me if you needed me.
I do. And
you have called me like a few times, but like we never really said goodbye.
The one time you called me, it was just to get past a certain level in Legend of Zelda.
I did. Well, and I thought you would have played it, and you're like, "I've never played it." And I'm like,
"Well, I've been busy."
Was it the Water Temple? Was it the Water Temple for Ocarina of Time? I was replaying Ocarina of Time.
No, it was recent. It was the not the most recent one. It was the one beforehand. Came out like not.
Oh, I called you for Skyward Sword.
Yes, Skyward Sword. Yeah, that was it.
And you hadn't played Skyward Sword, and my girls have played Skyward Sword. But it's not a super popular Legend of Zelda game. Yeah. Which I mean, to be fair, the mechanics like on the Wii is garbage. Not super fun. Or
we did some quick research though, and we got it together.
Yep. Yeah, you did help me actually get through it the first time.
Gotcha.
It was that one boss. What was his name? I don't know. Big metal dude. Fucked me up like a couple times. I'm like, I was getting so frustrated. I was like, I have to call somebody, and I'm like looking through my list. I'm like, Randy will know for sure. Randy's like, I don't know. I'm like,
but we figured it out.
We did.
Stan says, "Is there a possibility for a part 2? If so, don't screw things up again, Randy." I don't know if he means a part 2 of this podcast or part 2 of our would-be relationship.
We can definitely do a part 2 for the podcast.
Not for the relationship. So, Stan, sorry, your dreams have been crushed if you were looking for a part 2 of the relationship.
Again, I still don't believe it. You should force like 2 people into do like things that they like.
Well, you don't want more kids, do you?
Yes and no. I think I'm open to either one at this point because like it's complicated for me because now having gone through like pregnancy and birth, that was very, very, very difficult for me. And now I suffer a lot of like health problems because of it. So that was really scary. However, on the other end of the spectrum, Ash is the best thing that's ever happened to me. So it's complicated feelings.
So I've had the one that stood out to me the most, because I hear this all the time, where kids are, where people are just like, I didn't want kids either. I knew someone didn't want kids. They had a kid. They loved the kid. It wasn't until my friend Thomas Bookhart, who's one of my supervisors in Kuwait, he's like, listen, Chavez, I hated kids, still hate kids. I dislike everything about them, but they're different when they're yours. I was like, I've heard that. It's like, no, Chavez, they're different when they're yours. And it was like one of those guy moments where he's like, fucking listen to me. And I was like, okay. And he was one that just didn't like people in general.
Real
so
moment,
the fact that he hated kids, like, okay, you hate kids, but they're different when they're yours. Okay.
It's yeah.
But I have also, after I mentioned that, I have to mention I have also met a couple of people that, and this is obviously one in a million or 1 in 10 million that they just didn't connect with their kids, and like they have a responsibility and they'll, bring them up, but they like, I don't love my kids, like, and sometimes it's when they're older and it's like, my kid's a fuck up, but sometimes it's like
When they're little,
my kid's nice and I just don't have that connection, and I am so scared of that. So
yeah, I never I don't know how to explain this. I had trouble bonding with my son after he was born, but because I went through untreated postpartum depression, which is like a whole other issue, and also another reason that I'm terrified to have more children. However, being aware now that that is something that I would go through, I think that's something that could have been treated a lot earlier. But I get it. I've heard it before. I never didn't love my son. I've always loved him the second I found out that he was in there. But it's super difficult, and I think it should probably be talked about a lot more among people that bear children. That it's a real possibility and it's scary.
But I don't know if that depends on what hospital you bring them to, or they happen to have a good team that could recognize, oh, hey, she needs to see someone, or they need to.
Yeah. I saw midwives, and one midwife brought it up to me, and she's like, do you have a history with any mental illnesses? And I was like, yeah, I have depression and anxiety and like a panic disorder. And she looked me dead in the eyes and she held my hand, and she's like, it is because you have a history of depression. She's like, it's very likely that you will get postpartum. However, when you're in postpartum, that's not something that you realize.
Yeah.
Which is scarier. And it takes like a really good, observant person, I think, to realize that that's where they're at headspace wise. So it was a tricky situation.
I mean, now that you've been through it, it's like half dream world. Half dream world is when a boxer gets so fudged up in the ring that they start hallucinating.
That's pretty much what it was for the first year of my child's life.
And people that have been there before, they can recognize it. But people that first go in there, they're just like, what the fudge is going on? So now that you've been through it before, you could probably recognize it.
And happens. Probably be medicated and treated and helped accordingly, a lot faster. Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. Thank you, Vivi Wheels, for being a member, saying what's up. She Used to Be Mine by Sarah Bareilles. I don't know that song. Well, I'll look it up later.
Sarah Bareilles. That's a good song.
I fudged up the last name. It was like Bareilles. Then eventually becomes an actor. We need to see him star in a low budget. So I did an acting gig last year. It'll come out this year. It's called Looks Can Kill. It's the person who directed it was Eric Jensen. He did The Staircase on HBO. Mm-hmm. And I was supposed to have 2 movies this year. One was from Darcy Donovan, who had she has a whole bunch of movies planned out with an NFT project, but she's an actress. She's a former Miss Tennessee. She's has a bunch of singing accolades. She's an author. She does a lot. And the other was supposed to be Stealing Manhattan. It was a heist movie. So I grew the hair out for Darcy's movie. The heist movie, I could have long hair. I could have short. It doesn't matter. But then the Writers Guild strike happened, and it just got done like a couple hours ago before we started. Have you ever wanted to be an actor or actress?
Oh yeah, totally. I've like had so many ambitions and dreams and stuff in my life. Yeah, totally.
Nice. So now I realize we have had the unreal Randy Chavez, and now we have the
Possibility Randy Chavez I saw earlier.
This is so strange. What was the question? I forget the question. You were talking 10 minutes ago here. So I've asked you what made you emotional song wise.
Yeah.
Have you ever had that in a movie, whether it be something that was not supposed to be emotional but it did, or something that did?
What emotion are you asking about? Like cry, sad movie?
Yeah. So I saw the Flash movie recently, the Flashpoint one, the one with I forget the dude's name.
Yes. To look up the name.
Yeah, Ezra Miller, and then Ben Affleck as Batman, and it was when have you seen it?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so I won't spoil it, but I'll say there's a scene where he's talking with his mom, and it's like it's sad. And I wasn't expecting it to be sad. It's like, oh God, and I was pretty drunk too. We had gotten Chili's beforehand, and I had gotten a couple Long Islands, and I was very tipsy. And so like, I'm not making any noise. Tears are running down my face. And I'm hoping my friend Nick and Meg don't notice. What movie had gotten you like that? Where it's like, oh wow, I didn't expect these feels.
It's a real recent movie, actually. I watched A Man Called Otto.
Oh, I've heard that. I've heard about that.
Tom Hanks.
Love it.
If you haven't seen it, and you love to cry, please watch that movie.
I do not like to cry, so
it plays a lot into mental health, and yeah, it's real. It's some real shit, man. I didn't see it coming. I saw Tom Hanks, and I was like, "Oh, Tom Hanks, silly goofy dude. He's a good actor," and watched it, and was absolutely destroyed by the end of it. So,
ooh, Catherine's
Meatloaf,
an old soul.
Catherine and I, we have some history, but we sang some Meatloaf together. Remember we sang Paradise for the Dashboard Lights together, Kat, in Discord once?
That was I don't think it was the song that my friend Nick and Meg danced to at their wedding, but it was one of the songs that we had all danced to because so when you and your ex-husband got married, did you have like a wedding, or was it like a courthouse wedding?
Both. It was a backyard wedding. So it was a wedding, but it wasn't like big old, like super fancy, spendy.
Sick invite, by the way.
Huh?
I said sick invite, by the way.
We invited 30 people. There was 30 people.
Okay,
and it was just my immediate family and his immediate family, and and like a couple of his cousins, and like my best friends. But there was 30 people in our wedding. There was 30 people.
So what song did you walk down the aisle to?
Oh my God, stop.
What? I'm curious.
Okay. Hold on. I can't ever remember the original name of the song.
Apple Pie Heads, like Dead Bodies Everywhere by Korn.
That was the song I walked down the aisle to. No, I'm just kidding. I walked down to Never a Rising, which is the main theme song to Morrowind.
Okay.
Like the third Elder Scrolls game from like 1990s.
I'm gonna take you with me while I get more alcohol.
That's fine. While you're doing that, can I go take a pee? Because I've been drinking a lot of alcohol. Did you watch that video that Hank Green made on TikTok that's like, why do you have to pee so much when you drink alcohol? And he was like, he tried to explain it in like dumb people terms, you know? He's like, when you drink alcohol, your brain stops making the don't go pee pee hormone, and then and then usually when you're not drinking, your brain makes a lot of the don't go pee pee hormone, and then it stops doing it. Anyways, on that note, okay. I'm drinking a ton of alcohol, so I'm going to be right back in like 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes.
Of course. I'll be here. Oh, this is too much. All right, we got the Baileys. Got the Baileys Irish Cream. So we got the Baileys Irish Cream that we put in, and then we'll top it off with some Pinnacle Whipped vodka. I know how to stop bad guys in Agent Orange. Just ask me how. So that's a Gilmore Girls reference, in case y'all haven't. Oh, it's a little too much. I'm hoping Aubrey stays on for another couple hours because it's only 8 o'clock by her, 7 o'clock by her. I don't know. Dead bodies everywhere. It's great. I think that is a great choice as well. Anything by Slayer? Oh, Metallica, dude. So, I don't know what type of cars y'all have, but if you're ever in a really good car that has really good surround sound, stereo, something that's really good for cranking Metallica, Puppet Master, oh my God. Such good times. I love this song so much. Ooh, Raining Blood will bring tears to your eyes for sure. What is Raining Blood? Oh God, somebody has text messaged me.
Oh my God.
I'm interested. I have to check.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
So,
like when you drink when you're sitting down and then you stand up and then you're like, woo! I just had that when I had one of those like moments where you've been drinking and you go to the bathroom and you see yourself and you're like, that's what I just did in the bathroom. Bless you, by the way.
Thank you. So you're feeling it now, Mr. Krabs.
I'm feeling it now, Mr. Krabs. I've had like 3.5 drinks so far. So, yeah.
I don't really measure my drinks. I just go by how I feel. And if I can quote that episode of SpongeBob, I'm feeling something. So that's the other thing. We quote a lot of SpongeBob to each other.
It feels like a drunk history podcast now.
I love that show so much.
Drunk history. It's like, let's get drunk and talk about our history.
That's what we're doing. That do be what we're doing, though.
Mm-hmm.
So we, I don't know if we did because you've changed numbers a couple times. You were Aubrey, and then you were Aubrey Mae, your last name. Now you're still in my phone.
My middle name.
You're in my phone as Obs the Slobs.
That's me. Yeah. That's an old gamer tag of mine.
Old school. I like it.
I had a friend in high school that called me Obs. She called me Slobs. I don't want to say what she actually called me, like the full name of it, because she changed my entire name to be.
Oh, please tell us.
Okay, so my name's Aubrey Mae. Mae is my middle name. She used to call me Slobbery Gay.
Slobbery Gay. Okay, I love it. Skyward Sword was the worst.
It was literally the worst Legend of Zelda game. But like, I love Legend of Zelda so much. It felt illegal for me to
not play it.
Yeah, I had to.
So you say you love Legend of Zelda and Nintendo, but do you have tattoos?
I don't.
No. Are you a real fan then?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm replaying Majora's Mask right now for like the billionth time. Billionth time, probably.
The billionth time, all right.
At this point.
So Wes, people with kids do not have to say they do not have to say they love their kids. I've seen it. I've seen it where they do.
They should, but it's unfortunate. But sometimes, mentally, they can't for whatever reason.
I am very selfish. So when Wes says you definitely won't have much time for yourself after kids,
you don't.
I agree. I also have read that it's really hard for you to grow up unless you have kids, because if you don't have kids, you don't really have anyone that you would like die for. You don't really have anyone that you would like live for and do things with, sacrifice for. Yeah. And yeah. I can see that. Yeah. So that's pretty true. So, and I don't know. I like my life.
You can think that you would die for somebody, but like, I know that I would die for him.
No.
Instantly, without even a second thought.
I don't know if this is a troll. Do men get postpartum depression?
I mean, maybe. Because like the idea, like I know, like postpartum depression is when your hormones change so rapidly because like you're pregnant, and so you're producing a lot more hormones because you're not only like having your own hormones, but also the child's, and then the child comes out and it's a drastic drop. And that's like what causes postpartum depression. But I imagine that the change of life between not having children and then all of a sudden having an entire human being that like depends its entire life upon you can definitely fuck with somebody mentally. So maybe they get postpartum depression, but maybe it's called something else. It's like I don't know, man depression. I don't know.
My friend Sarah described it as having a boyfriend that slowly breaks your heart because they love you and they need you and they want to tell you everything and show you everything. And then slowly they don't anymore. They just want to go out with their friends and talk with their friends and do whatever with their friends. And they start keeping things from you. And then it's like, I don't know. That's what she said. I was like, whoa, I didn't realize that from like a parent's or like a mother's perspective. Like, oh, they love this thing, they love it back, and then it slowly starts to pull away and become their own person. Well, and she has like 3 boys, so she's going through that like 3 different times.
Yeah, something that really helped me with that, because I was worried about like, being what those like you've like read about like emotional incest mothers. Mothers are like helicopter parents, and they're like totally obsessed with like their sons or whatever. Usually it's mother to son relationships. And since I have a boy, I was like totally worried about that because I think it's gross and weird. I immediately started thinking and talking about Asher as his own person, which he is. He's totally his own independent person. But and also I think the thought of just not wanting to be like that has helped me pull away from that idea. But thinking about him as an own independent person, and I treat him like that. Let him make his own decisions. I mean, within the realm of reason, but
good. I don't know how I do, and that's part of the thing. I kind of had when I was living with my friend Mark. I lived with him in 2017 for a full year. It was after I got out of the military. He gave me a place to stay. It was with his fiance and his daughter, Lauren, and she was awesome. She was cool. We would talk about Pokemon cards, My Little Pony, we play video games. And then he's like, hey, we've been here for a year. This time I was like, all right, cool. So I go out to this place called Huntington. I lived there for a year and a half. It's great. It's like I'm with like a bunch of other bachelors. It's like, it's cool. It's fun. It's awesome. And then me and him get drunk one night in like early 2019. I was like, oh, I miss you, man. It's like, I miss you too. It's like, I miss living with you. It's like, I miss living with you too. I was like, let's do it again. And he's like, yeah, okay, let's do it. And then in 2019, so I moved in for like a year-ish, year and a half. And in that year and a half, so Lauren's like, she's like 14, 15 now. She turned 16, I think, when I was there. And they were like people now. They weren't like kids that you had to like kind of watch. They were like, oh, hey, let's listen to like the same music. Let's watch the Saw movies. They like horror. And it was like kind of my chance to like be a dad without being a dad, because they weren't really your kids. You could have fun with them, but you didn't have to really. Although I remember one of them asked me about love, and I was like, oh my god, I don't know. Because they're dating at that point, and they're like, okay, well, how do you know you're in love? And the way I explained it, which might have not been the right part, I was like, listen, there are some things that maybe you don't want to do. Like I don't like to shop. I hate shopping. I don't like doing anything that has to do with that. But I enjoy it when I'm with someone I love, because they make it fun. They make it like I'm with the person. Like we could be doing anything.
It makes them happy.
And it'll be fun because we're having a good time.
Yeah.
So if you're with someone where you're doing an activity that you would normally hate doing or don't like doing, and you're having a good time, I think that's love. Now maybe that could just be friendship in general and partnership, but I told him like that was it. And maybe that was a little bit too like of a simplification of it. But
it's real though.
Yeah, but that was fun.
That's a big question to be asked. I got asked the other day by the 4-year-old, like, where do babies come from?
What'd you say?
We were getting ready to leave the house and we were like in a rush. We were already behind, and I was like, "Can we answer this later?" And I still haven't answered it yet. So I mean, like we're coming around to it. But I've never lied to him. I don't like sugarcoat anything for him.
Okay.
But I do try to make it appropriate for a little 4-year-old ears. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I've never like lied to him about real life situations if he's asked. Because if he's asked, I feel like he like has like some kind of understanding of it, right? So like.
So did you explain the birds and the bees?
I'm going to. I haven't, like I said, I haven't yet because we were like busy we were like trying to leave the house. And I was like, "Can we talk about this later?" And he was like, "Yeah." And then later hasn't come yet because it was like 2 days ago. So I mean.
So can you please tell me what you're going to tell him? I'm so curious about how you're going to tell him where babies come from.
So I work in a medical lab, right? So like I'm like gonna be sciencey with him a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
But as much as he can understand, like I don't know. I haven't even thought about how I'm gonna explain it to him yet because he hasn't brought it up again. So I'm like dodging it like you're for.
So when you say you're sciencey, is it like, why is the sky blue? Well, we have a lack of violet receptors, photon receptors in our eyes, and that's why it's like how do you go and say so?
I mean, he's pretty darn aware of stuff, and so if I would think I would explain to him that like when two people are together sexually, then they can produce a child. Like and then he's probably gonna ask like what is sex, and then we'll have to like go into that because like he's aware that like the biological differences between like
good
female born people and like male born people, and so like he'll understand that like it's a weird thing that like sometimes you put this in here and then like and you do that enough and sometimes like the sperm will attach to the egg and then grow.
You don't think that's too early?
No.
Okay.
Like, I mean, what's the harm? What harm will it do for him to like know reality? Like, as long as it's like a safe place, and like, I always want him to feel like he could talk to me about anything. I've always wanted him to like feel like he can ask me anything, and I will always be real with him, like no matter what. But as long as I explain to him in a way that like makes him feel safe and like has him understand what's going on, I don't feel like there's anything wrong with it.
That's fair. That's good.
That's just me. I know some people are like, when a mommy and a daddy love each other very much, they hug really tight, and then a baby comes. And like a stork flies in and like drops the baby off. But like my parents lied to me as a kid. And like,
oh dude, same.
I remember realizing being like, that was bullshit. My parents lied to me. I don't want him to ever feel like my mom wasn't truthful with me. Like, I'll tell him the truth. Like I know he's a child now, but for most of his life, he will be an adult.
Yes.
That's how my brain thinks.
There's so my parents lied to me about a bunch of things, but they haven't had they like never had the sex talk with me. So up until I was like 9, I thought that and this comes from a Marilyn Manson cover. I don't know what album.
Oh no.
Yeah, so this is separate from when I learned or disinformation, but I saw a Marilyn Manson cover where when I heard Marilyn, or when I read Marilyn, I was like, oh, Marilyn, that's a woman, because Marilyn Monroe. Like, okay, so I thought that was a woman's name, and he kind of looked like a woman because on the cover of this album,
it was classic Marilyn.
On the cover of this album, it was him, and he was naked, and he had boobs, but instead of having a female genitalia down there, it was just like a pouch of like fat, and there was no anything there. So, and I saw that when I was like 6 or 7. I was like, oh, that's just down there. Okay, like I just accepted it. Yeah. And yeah, and then in like 2nd grade, I remember this kid Kevin Butler. He was in 3rd grade, so he knew like the world. And
Of course.
and he's like, oh yeah, like babies come from like a guy sticks his parent in a girl's booty, and it's like, that's how babies
Booty.
met. And I was like, oh, okay, that all right, that makes sense. Because when I saw that album cover, there was nothing in front for a woman, to stick into.
Obviously, had to be the back.
So up until I was 9, and then I finally first saw porn, I thought that that's what it was. And then when I was I first did it when I was 12, and yeah, I was super young.
An infant. That's too young.
I matured early, but yeah, I was very young.
Mature? Okay, that's still too young.
So the girl I was with was 13. So I was 12, she was 13, and I remember I'd seen porn like a couple of times, but not enough to really remember like kind of where it was.
Yeah.
So back in the day when you're like when kids like, oh, I'm gonna fuck you, and then they just go like, and they look straight. So I think that a girl's the JJ is like a couple inches below the belly button, but it's like a lot lower than that. So when I go and I feel around for it, I'm like thinking like, and I'm like pushing against like her bladder, and she's like, what are you doing? I was like,
I literally cannot, Randy. I can't stand this.
So
I have so much secondhand embarrassment for something that happened to you like 20 years ago. I literally can't.
Yeah, and honestly, that's not even the worst part.
I can't.
The worst part, it was like between 20 and 30 seconds later, and it was over.
You're lying. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, it was, and because there was no real sex ed at that point.
I'm so embarrassed.
Very possible that there could have been a little baby Chavez from that. Thankfully, there wasn't. But yeah,
I can't.
I don't know if I've ever told that story, especially on stream. So 19 people are getting the.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
So going back to 20 minutes ago, Catherine says, Encanto's Surface Pressure kicked my ass. That was a great song. I love that song. Do you know that one?
No, I don't.
I'm the strong one. I'm not nervous. I'm as strong as the crust of the earth is.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I do. Did your video freeze or is it me? Did your video freeze or is it just me?
I think it's just you. I'm fine. Okay. Can you see me?
Am I still moving? I can see your face is smiling, but it's not doing anything else.
Oh wow, yeah, no, I can see you. You're smiling.
It's totally fine as long as like we're still functioning. Then we're good.
Of course.
Maybe it's just me.
Apple Pie Ham says existentialism on prom night. Stray Light Run. That's their emotional song. Oh damn it, Stray Light. Yeah.
I love these emotional song recommendations.
Mm-hmm. Moana when she's out.
That one makes me cry too. Apple. I love Moana. What a good movie.
Let It Go. I was like, how far it goes. That one? Was that the one where she's?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good.
See the light when the sky means to see, and it calls me. That one. Yeah. And no one knows. That's a good song.
My favorite is probably Let It Go by Idina Menzel. Or if you're John Travolta, Abidel Azine, or whatever he calls her. Did you see that?
Nope.
John Travolta is introducing Idina Menzel, like, because she's performing at the Grammys or something. He's like, here to perform Let It Go is Abidel Azine or something. Like, he doesn't.
Are you still there? Did I freeze? Oh no. Oh no.
We go.
Oh,
okay.
We're back.
Yeah.
I almost left. I was like, I don't know what to do.
That happens every now and then, but
I can see you now again. You're like moving.
Very good. Very good.
Because before you were just frozen like this. You're like.
So talking about Let It Go, that was my favorite song. I know it came out in 2013. I didn't hear it till 2014.
Really? How was that possible? It was everywhere.
Well, it came out in like December of 2013. So, and I didn't see the movie until 2014. And then, so yeah, that was my favorite. So, all right, give me your top 3 favorite Disney songs.
Oh,
You're prepared, are you?
I am. Yeah. Hold on. I'm
Like
busting
Scar, be prepared.
I'm busting out. I'm busting out the phone.
Get that bread. Oh, Catherine remembers singing that song with you.
I can't. Paradise by the dashboard light. Ain't no doubt about it. Double blessed. It's a good song.
So Apple Pie Hands said corn. Because we were talking about emotional songs.
This sounds like song. That's why I was talking about corn.
Obs slobs on the knobs.
You know it, baby. I'm being knob slobbing every day. I can't believe I said that. I'm done.
Apple Pie Hands has a tattoo on his back.
Her.
She. Oh, it's a she. Good
Apple.
God, she's a woman. She's a what's that animal? Is that a lemur?
Sloth.
A what?
A sloth. Apple is my sloth baby.
Oh, sloth. Oh, so it's a lesbian relationship. How modern. Very nice. Very nice. Nintendo is not a dying console, West. We will talk later.
Not as long as I'm alive. No.
I will single-handedly keep that game alive.
If Nintendo has no fans, then I am dead.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you were looking up your top 3 list of.
Oh, duh, and I can't remember the name of it now because like I've had too many rums. I've had way too many rums today.
Ooh, Catherine has a kid as well.
Catherine does have a kid.
Wow. Is it Apple Pie Hands? I know she's a woman, but you know they can.
No, it's not Apple Pie.
Oh, okay.
Apple Pie is our girlfriend. I love Apple. I love Cat.
I just like proper names for genitals.
I like proper names for genitals too. So Asher calls his thing what it is, and he just learned recently that I don't have that thing. So I remember him the other day. He was in the bathroom with me, and I was going pee, and he busts in because mom life. He busts in and he goes, "I have a penis and a butt." And I was like, "You absolutely do have a penis and a butt." He goes, "Mommy has a butt," and then that was it. That's all he said. He said, "Mommy has a butt," and I was like. And like anything else to add to that, but that was all he had. He's like, "Mommy has a butt," and I'm like, "You're not wrong." Like, there's more to that, but sure.
Maybe we ain't nothing but mammals. Ronnie says, "Do it like they do on the Discovery Channel." Oh, Ronnie's emotional song is "Can You Feel the Love Tonight?" That's a good song. Oh no, he says in the jungle, the mighty jungle.
That's a good one.
That is a good one. I don't know if that's one of my favorites, but it is a really good one.
No, it is a good one.
All right. So did you find your 3 or is it?
Yeah. Okay. So I don't have 3 at the moment. I'd have to think about it. My very first favorite is "I Won't Say I'm in Love" in Hercules. Like Meg sings "I Won't Say That I'm in Love."
Why is that one of your favorites?
It's good. It's a bop. It's an absolute fucking bop. You have to listen to it. It's so good.
So as a man, I like I will find my way. I can go the distance. Like that one, because that's like that gets you pumped. That like gets you wanting to run. That gets you wanting to work out. That gets you wanting to,
What's the What's the name? I don't know the name of the song. Oops, I'm playing music on my phone on accident. The song they sing Entangled when they're in the boat and like the lanterns are going. Whatever that song is.
Okay. So Brownie brought up The Lion King. When we're talking about, I do like Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Because that line in the song, like, he's holding back, he's hiding, but what I can't decide. But won't he be the king I know he is, the king I see inside? I like the
That's a good
line
one.
where where someone sees something in you that other people don't see. Like there's a line in an Avril Lavigne Skater Boy, like that was it oh, oh God, I gotta look up lyrics to figure out which one it is. You know the song Skater Boy though, right?
I do. I actually listened to it in my car today.
Nice. Okay, lyrics. So where she says,
For her.
sorry girl, but you missed out. Well, tough luck, that boy's mine now. We are more than so she goes on and says, like, too bad that you couldn't see to see the man that boy could be. There is more than meets the eye. I love those lines. Too bad you couldn't see the man that boy could be. There's more than meets the eye.
Yeah.
Shout out to RPM87 for the super chat saying, Randy, I'm a killer whale. That's a reference to him being having a lot of OMI, which is a cryptocurrency.
Yep.
Which I guess we haven't really gone over. Have you? I know you're doing your best. You got a place to stay, and you have, a kid, and you have bills.
Yep. That's where I'm at.
Do you have any investments, or just like, hey man, I'm just trying to keep my head above water?
That's pretty much where I'm at right now. I used to. I had some Bitcoin for a while, but
you sold it.
Yeah. Oh, and I had Dogecoin when that first started. Bought a fuck ton of Dogecoin. A fuck ton of Dogecoin, but not no more.
I remember do you remember me telling you about PorkFest?
PorkFest?
Yeah. So PorkFest happened. I started going in 2014 with my girlfriend Erica. Went again in 2015 and 2017. So it's short for Porcupine Freedom Festival.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sign me up. That sounds good.
It's with a lot of libertarians. They're like Republicans have elephants and Democrats have donkeys, and libertarians have porcupines because they're like, hey, leave me the hell alone, man, or I'll get you with my porcupine.
Talking about literal porcupines.
No, it's
Okay.
So I was the minority there that paid in cash with everything. Everyone else is these like anarchist, libertarian, anarcho-capitalists, and they're paying with bits of silver, they're paying with Bitcoin. And in 2014,
they're like really into it.
So in 2014, I had the chance to buy Bitcoin and Dogecoin, and I didn't do it.
You should have bought some Doge.
I should have. So
I made a little money on Dogecoin.
Oh, nice. So I don't know. So what do you remember of me in 2017 through 2022? Okay, nothing, I guess.
I mean, yeah, but like, no, I guess I don't like specifics. What are you looking for when you say 27? I mean, you were around. We're still friends. Like,
So in 2017, I started working for a private bank that did what's called cash advance or high risk lending, where they would go and people would apply to get loans, but we only took business loans. So you had to have a business, you had to have a certain amount of revenue, you had to have a certain credit, whatever. So all of these people had between like 450 and 650 credit. They had very bad credit.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between people that, hey, I just had a divorce. I had, a lot of aging receivables. I have a lot of money coming my way, but I don't have it right now. So I had to take out a bunch of credit cards because I'm a contractor or I'm in construction, or I'm in trucking, whatever, to get this stuff done. You had that crew versus the I just don't pay my bills crew. And if you don't have like 750 credit, banks won't touch you. So you could have like 650 credit and be a very good merchant, and you could have your stuff taken care of. But you're considered over leveraged because you take out credit cards for Home Depot or Lowe's in order to get supplies for your next job because you're
Yeah.
still owed like $100,000.
Right.
So we would not go above usury charges. We kept it very legal at 24.99% interest rates. So it's a very high interest rates.
Yikes, man.
But what we did was a lot of people said if you paid off early, you would be charged a penalty. But what we did was like, oh, if you pay off early, you get a discount. We reward you for paying off early. So instead of paying 24.99% for the year, they'd pay like 20% in 3 months. So it's like, oh, you pay off early, you get this discount. And so sometimes we would get, we'd loan out $10,000, we get $12,000 back. And my friend Lou, who had the bank, he's been on the podcast a couple times. We would go and we would get these files. We would all put in our money. We'd pool our money together to make up the amount, whether it be 8,000 or 50,000. And we would get the points on it. We would get the interest on it. And I made when I got out of the military, I had like $2,000 to my name. And that was in late 2016, early 2017. By October of 2019, I had $100,000 to my name. And it's because of that.
I think I do remember this.
Yeah, and I remember we were supposed to have a big meetup at your dad's place.
Because it was in the middle of everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you had a dog grooming business at the time?
Daycare. But yeah, we were doing grooming and daycare.
And something was going on and you couldn't meet. And I was like, listen, like, please, like I've been working so hard for this. I'll pay for you, and you just couldn't for whatever reason. I don't really know what was going on. You were just like, listen, Randy, like I just have a lot going on. I can't do it. I was like, I deserve this. And you're just like, okay, well, good for you. Like you're like, I can't do it. I was like, oh, Aubrey. What was going on for you in like 2019? What if you remember that year?
I was pregnant and I just had my kid. And
did we know about that?
I didn't tell anyone until right before I was due.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
And me and his dad we weren't working.
So
so there was a lot of like trying to figure life out after a child kind of stuff.
So the person that is the dad was not your ex-husband?
No.
Oh.
My ex-husband came around when my son was about 10 months old, I think. Wow. And has been there since then, but not.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, not recently.
No, he's not his biological father.
So we'll get to that later. But so that was why.
There was a lot happening that was my postpartum year, Randy.
Okay, yeah, all right. So I understand now.
I was going through a lot of mental health stuff, and I was in and out of doctors a lot. So, yeah, that's okay. I mean, it happens, but like the meetup wasn't happening that year.
I love you, dude. Air hug. So
life is funny like that sometimes.
Yeah. I'll be her new dad once Omi takes off. So getting back into the Omi thing.
Like dad or daddy?
I don't know. So there's this thing that I've seen, and I didn't recognize it was something that I thought was possible until I saw it, where one of these guys on TikTok had said like, oh, well, women, rightfully so, they're like, hey, listen, they're essentially picking the father of their child. They're the gatekeepers of, like reproduction. I was like, they're not going to be with a loser because then, it's not good breeding. But a guy will look at like a McDonald's worker and be like, yo, I want to save you. And they'll have like, and I was like, and then I go and I think about it, I was like, well, if there's someone that's really smart and bright, but they're doing what they have to do right now, they can't showcase their abilities because of X, Y, and Z. And yeah, if you meet someone that you hit it off with and you like them and they have the same values, okay, yeah, it doesn't matter what they do. I could picture that. I was like, oh, well, maybe this person's right. So I don't know what he means that he says I threw that tattoo soon. He could mean one or the other. I don't know. So where you are now, would you be with the sugar daddy?
I wouldn't say no.
Oh, all right. Kevin says, "Oh, I Discord message you. I guess it's something important."
Well, let's see.
So you wouldn't say no. That is interesting. So if there's I mean, if he's a daddy, if he's like if he's taking care of you in the financial sense, does it matter what he looks like, or does it matter what he does for a living, or as long as like he takes care of you, it's like, oh, fine.
Honestly, at this point in my life, I feel like I would have been open to a sugar daddy probably a couple years ago. But right now, because I'm going through, what I'm going through, I can take care of my own at the moment. But would I be open to a sugar daddy? I don't know. How much sugar does the daddy want is the question.
Well, okay, you're making me think about it now. So like, it's not that I don't want. If I were to get into dating, it'd probably mostly be casual, unless I met someone that I really hit it off with, and we get along great, and we like, it would have to be essentially love or the ability, like, hey, we have the potential to have a loving relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say it wouldn't matter, but if it was someone, if we're going down that route of just how much sugar do I want, well, if I'm also.
Are you asking about you personally? Is that what's happening right now?
I think you asked personally, didn't you? It was like, how much sugar does he want?
Okay, but are you asking about you being that daddy right now?
Well, you asked that, so I was like, well, if it was me.
But I didn't know you were talking about you.
It wasn't about me. It was about RPM 87. Said that. But if it was about me, okay, well, as long as it's consensual, if I'm paying for stuff, and if I'm like, I kind of want it, when I want it,
right.
within reason. I know, like, sometimes girls get sore, and it's like, okay, I did a little too much damage the last couple of days. I'll give you a day or two to recover. But
yeah,
but yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm also a fairly high. Hey, let's. But if it's, I feel like a lot of sugar daddies are older, and they are kind of, I don't know, like, hey, let's set your minute rice before we do this, and by the time we're done, the minute rice will be done.
Oh yeah, I thought we were just messing around. No, I don't think I could balance that in my life right now. I'm chilling. I'm good. I've got my own, but yeah, being realistic. But if anyone just wants to send me money.
So my friend Stacy does this. She was one of the girls that I mentioned before about, she has an OnlyFans, and
yeah, you mentioned me. Yeah.
So it was a very pretty girl. A lot of she's got a crazy story too. Like, I don't think she was a really bad kid. She just had some really bad luck, where she was like 12 and she was just trying to entertain herself, and she was a little older than me, so there wasn't really like the internet wasn't good. It was dial up, so she's like taking paper, ripping it out of the binder, and just like kind of lighting it on fire, and like ooh. But then she like kind of fucked up her computer, so her stepdad convinced her mom to put the sub meter. well, okay. Well, we'll talk. So her stepdad convinced her mom to send her to this place. It was like a school for girls, but like troubled girls. And essentially they kidnapped you. They took you from your home in like the middle of the night. And
yeah, I've heard about those.
Yeah. So
that's whack.
Yeah, dude, it was so she's on the Nastascia Bendler. Just go on my podcast, you'll see her. She's got face tattoos, and she's a woman. She's very well built, and she has that story, and she has the OnlyFans. I forget what. I'm pretty drunk. I forget the question. What were we talking about before this? Aubrey, don't lose it on me now.
I was hoping you would keep it together because I'm drunk and I can keep it together.
Wait, so all right.
You had this. Someone's like, we're gonna get somewhere with this.
Before. All right. So, what did Catherine message you?
Huh?
What did Catherine message you?
Oh, she messaged me about oh, we have like this like community shit that we're doing with the games. Like,
oh, okay. So it's nothing important.
Well, yeah, well, kind of, but it was fine. I dealt with it.
We were talking about sugar daddies and how it's important. They're not as important to you now because you have a kid.
When I was younger, I would have totally been into it. But now I'm like, I have a lot more.
Oh, then I brought up Stacey. Okay, so, and obviously you don't have to answer this, and let me know if I'm getting a little too personal. I feel like I should tell you that from the beginning.
I won't answer anything I don't feel uncomfortable answering.
Okay. So instead of having a sugar daddy or one, that you have to, do stuff for, and maybe they're not attractive, but they got money and take care of you and your kid. What would you do for like OnlyFans? Is that something that you've explored before?
No.
Wouldn't do it?
Not for me personally.
Is it because like, oh, hey, my son's friends might see this in the future and they might make fun of him for it?
Maybe. I just don't think it's me. I mean, I have a kid, and I guess maybe it could impact him in the future. But maybe like it's not my forte. I don't think.
That's fair. Kim says I have less sugar than Randy. The thing, don't put this on me, dude. I'm a killer whale. Oh, so I guess we were talking about the OMI. So after the high risk lending and investing in Tesla and investing in Pokémon cards, I'd made a decent amount of money, and I had put it all into this token called OMI, which is attached to the VV platform. Have you seen me talk about VV, or have you heard me mention?
No, I see you mention it a lot, but I don't know what it is personally.
So VV is essentially it's a collecting app, but it's not for like, oh, hey, here's a spreadsheet to track your physical collectibles. It's a spreadsheet to track what you collect digitally. So they have partnerships with companies like Disney, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, Universal, the United States Postal Service, Cartoon Network, and it shows you like what you get. Like I have some things from Marvel, I have Anna from Frozen, Fantastic Four, Tokidoki, all this stuff, and the licenses, like typically with collectors, as you know, for Pokemon, first edition is better than Shadowless, which is better than Unlimited. And, in baseball, rookie cards are better than the rest of the cards because it's their first time on a card. So for digital collecting, the first time a character appears on a blockchain, is essentially their first appearance in a comic, or their rookie card, or their Pokemon first edition. So you have a bunch of these first appearances on this VV app that's on the blockchain. And I feel like it's like you're getting Babe Ruth's rookie card, or Mickey Mantle's rookie card, or the Charizard first edition. And because they don't degrade, because they're not physical collectibles, they can't get whitening on the cards, or edge wear, or scratches on the hollow, they're extremely valuable. So in 2021, throughout all of my business ventures, I had about $500,000. And I threw all of it into the token OMI. And in late 2021 and in early 2022, I was a millionaire for a very short period of time, for about 4 or 5 months. And then Russia invaded Ukraine, and then everything went to shit. and I lost about $1 million.
Yeah.
So that sucked. But everything had kind of come together, or is coming together now. The tech got right. They have more partnerships. They have everything you could imagine. And the token now, which is less than 1/10 of 1 penny, will do a 100x in the next 2 years. Meaning that if you put $1,000 into it now, you'll likely have $100,000 in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I lost $1 million on it, I still have over $100,000 of it now. So in 2 years, if I don't sell anything, I'll likely have over $10 million. This has given me extraordinary opportunities to talk to politicians, royalty, CEOs, billionaires,
Mm-hmm.
and be friends with a lot of them.
Yeah.
I know you don't have a ton right now, but if there's anything I could advise you to do, it would be to buy the OMI token, because I love you, and I don't. And again, you don't have to. When I make it huge, you'll be fine. I'll take you to Europe. We'll have our friend trip. We'll go visit Lilith. We'll go go have fun.
Yeah.
You might need to have a sitter for the kid though. Does your mom be open to that or not?
Sure.
Okay.
She just lives in Kansas now, but yeah.
Cool. But yeah, so since do you want to talk about the marriage? You don't have to. You don't want to.
Oh, how much do you want to ask? I will. If I don't want to answer anything, I'll just pass. That's
okay.
fine. That's fine.
You said he started dating you when your son was 10 months old?
Yeah, something like we started seeing each other around that time. I don't think we were officially dating, but he was. Yeah, something like that.
How did you guys meet?
We worked the same job together. I had 2 jobs, and we worked the same night job that I had together.
Okay. And
Yeah.
what attracted you to him at first?
He was really goofy, and he was really nice.
Okay, so I was the goofball of the Pokemon group, and that. So you like the goofballs? Okay.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay. And how did you know he was into you?
Oh, I don't know, because honestly, I threw the first move. So
You threw the first move?
I did, and I was just like hoping for the best.
So, how did you do it? How did you throw the first move? What did you do or say?
Oh, so I broke my leg at work.
I remember that. You were like delivering pizzas?
I was delivering pizzas, and I broke my leg at work one night, and I just didn't come back to work because obviously I took a trip to the hospital, and I didn't come back to work. And so he was like, "Hey, you didn't come back to work." He messaged me for the first time on Facebook, and I was like, "Yeah, I broke my leg." And he's like, "I heard that." And then that was pretty much it. And then we had made jokes before a couple of times at work about one of our other coworkers, like we'd always joke with him and be like, "Oh, you're so hot," and just like we would just mess with him, just like we'd flirt with him like as a joke. Everyone did. We all just like flirted with him. We're like, "Oh, you're so beautiful today," like, and just like fuck with him. Anyways, Oh gosh, I don't remember exactly what I said to him when I first like kind of threw it out there. Um, but I had broken my leg at work, so I'm going through like a workers' compensation thing with like a lawyer. And the lawyer has to do like interviews with my job to like see what happened, right, for the workers' compensation. And I made a joke to him and I said, "Hey, if my lawyer called you, would you tell him I'm the hottest one at work?" Like and he said, I think our other coworker is hotter, but you're a close second, like as a joke.
Oh, we're talking about the guy that.
I'm talking about the other guy, yeah.
Okay.
We were all like, we flirt with just to make him awkward. Cat, you'll take care of me. What's up? You know where I'm at. You got my phone number. But yeah,
Okay, so
I definitely threw that at him first.
And then after, so how did it evolve from just flirting on Facebook Messenger to actually dating?
Oh gosh, I was in that position where like my son was really young and I wasn't looking for anything, and he wasn't either. He was going through some life changes himself. But we learned that we really liked spending time together. We really liked being around each other, and we went did all sorts of fun stuff together. And we kept doing that, and surprised we ended up together. After time of like spending a lot of like time together and going on adventures together, we ended up being together, but it took like that time that we needed to get there.
I'll go over that in a second. I'll process that. RPM says, Randy, thank you for the super chat. Randy, my friend invested in Earth 2 and lost a lot of money. He's now trying to convince me you're full of crap about Omi. What should I say to him? Well, RPM, Google or YouTube my video, Omi Catalyst for this year, and it'll show you the video I made 2 months ago. But also talk about Crypto Rain and Sanjay Bhaskaran and all the people that are older, smarter, and more successful than I am that are invested in the token, and show them. So Aubrey, when you go and how long did it take between the we're talking on Facebook and we're flirting to dating? How long was that?
Over a year.
So who was the one? Were you the one that kept going on and pushing the relationship, or was it him? Was it both?
It wasn't until much later that I mentioned us being in a relationship, but he was the one who asked.
So when you did it, did you say I ship us?
No, at no point did I say that because I'm not 19 anymore.
So you know why I said that, right?
Yeah, because we got shipped a lot, and then I got shipped with Lilith there for a while.
And then you said I ship us.
I did.
You did. So when you finally did started dating, how did it start? Did you say, "Hey, let's go to dinner"? Did he say, "Hey, I'll come pick you up"? Was it just you hanging out and then you just kissed for whatever reason?
I mean, we had already like been romantically involved before then, but it was not. There was no labels on the situation.
No.
And I had mentioned it because we were about to go home and visit my family. He was going to come with me to Kansas to visit, and I was like, "Isn't it going to be funny when like people ask what our situation is, and I'm not going to be able to see my boyfriend?"
Situationship.
Yeah, and like it's an old conservative family, so it's like they're not gonna get it.
Yeah.
And then he asked me if I wanted to be officially his girlfriend, and so I said yes. And then we'd already been seeing each other for over a year, and then 10 months later we were. No, that seems wrong. Yeah, 10 months later. We were married.
And when you started, between the time you started dating and the time you're married, did you have a conversation about kids, or did he mention in passing, "No, I want kids"?
No, he never wanted children. That was not his something that he wanted.
And because you had a kid already, you're just like, all right, that's fine.
Yeah, pretty much.
So he never wanted kids, but he was dating a woman that had a newborn, a toddler under 2 years,
Yeah, he was young.
and he was cool with it.
Yeah.
Wow, nice grab. And when you first started dating, between that 10 months between you first flirting with him and you actually started dating, did he ever switch jobs?
Did my husband switch jobs?
Yeah, did he go, like, because you were together at delivering pizzas, right?
Oh, no, he was going to school. So
He
it
was.
yeah, so it was more ideal for him to keep his job.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what was he going to school for?
Computer science. He already has a degree in graphic design.
So at some point he had gotten he got his degree, right?
Yes, for graphic design.
Cool. And then when he had, at some point in your relationship, did he get a job in that field?
He had one previously.
Oh, cool. So then he got one again.
Oh gosh, I don't remember the exact title of his job, but he was like the art director for a graphic design company for a while.
So then when he did that, did he work from home?
No.
Okay. Did he have to go away a lot, or it was just, hey, I just commute to work and then I come back?
I think he commuted.
And you guys were where were you guys?
We were not together at that point. That was before we had been together.
So when you were together, where did you guys live?
In Oregon here.
And then when you guys had separated, did he say where he went?
Not at first.
Okay. And then is the divorce like official, or is it
No.
Oh, so is there a chance that he comes back?
I don't think so.
Is anyone pushing to make the divorce official, or is it doesn't really matter?
I think it will become official. I think right now we're both on our own timelines.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since that, I think you're stronger than mine. After my last relationship, which ended in May of last year, I've dated, but I haven't like had a relationship, and I don't think I would have another relationship, not for a while, unless it was like, I don't know how to say that, unless it was like, I don't say real love, because I try to stay away from that. But you can't help who you love, and it happens. Since that marriage had ended, I know you said you have been kind of forlorn and like, I am not about commitment. Do you think you'd ever go and be in a serious relationship again, or would you be like, hey, I'm just with you now to get what I need, and then and then we're done?
I don't know. I don't say that honestly. I won't go too much more into what's going on right now.
Okay.
However, because everything that's going on, I don't even know what I'll be doing tomorrow.
I understand.
Let alone like 6 months from now, or a year from now, or 10 years from now. I don't know where I'm going to be at. Going through a lot on my own, and I'm going through therapy and learning life again differently. And I think I'll figure that out when the time comes.
It is different. Life when you're a kid, and then life when you have a kid, it's completely different.
Totally different. It's totally different now.
No. Catherine says single parents have enough on their plate as it is. Anybody who wants their time and energy but isn't willing to help parent and help with that isn't worth the time.
Amen, Kat.
Okay, so you concur with that. Yes, I love the song Questions and Video Game Talk. Who's your favorite musician? Ooh. Well, you mentioned Meatloaf before. I really like Meatloaf. The Beatles are great. Green
Mm.
Day is great.
I've went back into my Beatles phase, like all over. It just like I totally had one when I was in junior high, and I'm just like right back in it again.
Have you seen the movie Yesterday?
Yes. And Across the Universe. However, I will warn you right now, my battery's at 15%.
Do you have a phone charger or a battery? Are you on your phone or are you on your?
I'm on my computer.
Do you have a laptop charger?
I do. It's just in the other room.
Can you go get it?
I don't know. How long do your things go? I don't want to I don't know.
Oh, sometimes I've had streams for 69 hours before. So
69 hours, girl. I am not doing that.
You don't have to do that. But,
I was like, girl, I've had 3 drinks and I'm an old woman now. Like,
if you have to go, you have to go. You know, let me know.
4 drinks. I'm almost through this bottle of rum.
So I think this is where the best conversations happen, because we talk about what we love and also just old friends catching up, and I love you, and I don't want it to end. I haven't gone to the bathroom because I don't want it to end.
Well, I went to the bathroom, but also I wouldn't know how to like entertain the people.
I'll just read the comments, I guess.
I can't.
Do you want to go until you're?
Can I read
until you could? Sorry, what?
Can I read the comments where I'm at? I don't know. It looks different on my end, I think. I can't. I just see us.
Oh, okay. Well, there's Catherine. Well, there's one of Catherine's. There's a couple of comments from her, but so I know we're talking about yesterday. Before we go to that, did you want to go until the laptop or the computer dies, or could you go get it, the charger?
Either way. What do you want to talk about? Well, also, like, my son's like totally waiting for me.
Okay, so we'll finish it up, and then you can.
No worries. If there's like things you want to talk about, let's do it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, again, I could go for.
I know you can. Every time we talk for like ever. So it's like totally not a surprise to me that this has gone on for 2 hours and a quarter.
So do you want to save it for 3 hours, and then at that point we're done? Or
I don't think I'll make it to 3 hours, to be honest.
Okay. So
I'm falling asleep.
Okay. So
not because of you, but because I've drank too much too fast, and that's my own bad.
All right, so we'll go through these quick.
Sure.
So obviously Beatles, I love them. Green Day, I love them.
Yes.
And you said Across the Universe. That you never watched Gilmore Girls, did you?
No.
There's a scene in the revival called A Year in the Life, where they sing, what would you do if I sang out of tune? But it's from Across the Universe.
Yeah.
That version. And it's just
so good. So good.
One of my favorite things to do is to drink and listen to old school music, whether it's Run Around Sue, whether it's the Beatles, Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
Mm-hmm.
One of my ex-girlfriends, she's like, you're such a cliche. I guess being a veteran and liking old music, you're a cliche.
What does that mean?
I guess it happens.
I guess. Sure.
But I also like, you got the emo phase, you got like Fall Out Boy, you got, I Write Sins Not Trust, you got Panic at the Disco, Sleeping with Sirens, Falling in Reverse. But then, I like Hilary Duff. I like Skater Boy. I like white girl music. I like Katy Perry and Kesha.
Same.
I like Victorious.
I love Kesha.
So I come to West Palm Beach and I'll date her. You got a fan. Genre.
I'm scared of Florida, so I'll pass. Thank you so much.
Genre. I like emo, punk pop. I like that stuff. Giving you a message, Randy. She wants to.
Look, I'm old and a mom, and like I've had 4 drinks, and so I'm like, it's bedtime for me almost at this point. I love Randy. I'll talk to him for hours. We always we always have for years, but I'm like.
So, I mean, I think we kind of answered this before. Before we get to the rest of the comments, we'll answer this again.
Sure.
just to confirm, the likely trajectory for our relationship, I'm guessing, is 95% just mostly friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
I think we established that a while ago, though.
so RPM,
We tried.
you're more than welcome to try to date her. She, yeah. But yeah, I love people. I love. You've never taken acid, have you?
No, that's not really my game.
Well, if you never tried, how do you know it's not your game? How do you know it's not your bag?
Well, I already have like a panic disorder, and so if I win a trip, I can just have a regular day.
Well, it's completely different. Even though I think I've had one panic attack.
I get them constantly. I get them every day. So.
Oh God, what? How? So is it? So this is going to sound really weird.
Yeah, mess me up.
Okay, so I'll there are many types of women, but there are two types that really stick out to me. There's ones that, and this is going to be very NC-17. There's ones that orgasm very easily, and there's ones that take a while to orgasm, and the orgasms are super intense. Like,
okay.
And so the ones that orgasm very easily, it happens, but then they can go again and again and again. The ones that orgasm that are super intense, they like pass out.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go and you say like, oh, I have panic attacks every day, I'm not saying that they're nothing, but they're probably, if you're having panic attacks every day, they're probably, how long does it take to get over them?
That depends.
Okay.
It depends. Like sometimes I just get really anxious and I have like a couple 5-10 minutes where I'm like outrageously nervous and I'm fidgeting. Like before right when I got on here, I was totally fidgeting and I was like nervous about everything. I had a couple drinks and it like brought it down. But it depends like in the situation. Like I don't, sometimes it's like an hour. And it takes a while. Like they're really severe. Sometimes like there's no logical part of my brain left when I'm having those panic attacks.
That's so strange.
I love panic and MCR. Kat, you're right on my list, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Fleetwood. Oh my God, Kat's got it. She knows it. We have the same playlist. I swear.
Don't put her on the spot live on the. I mean, that's what the podcast. We just talk about it, and we just talk about whatever. You remember that scene of? Oh, hey, Randy, I'm too drunk. Drinks bottle of.
You're asking the hard shit. So.
Okay, you remember that scene of in The Dark Knight when Heath Ledger's Joker is talking to Christian Bale's Batman, and he's like, I think we're destined to do this forever. You remember that scene?
I do. I actually have seen that one. You've been asking me everything all night. Like, have you seen this? And I'm like, no.
Do you think that we're destined to talk and be friends forever?
I do.
We've
always been buddies, and like I don't. I always feel safe like contacting you, and I know that you feel safe contacting me. I mean, at least that's what you said. So I do agree with that, and like I agree with that with like everyone else that came from the Pokemon group. I know that if I really needed like Claudia, I could totally call her. She's like over here on the West Coast with me. Julito. I fucking love Julito like so much. I know that I could totally call him and just talk to him. I would sell my soul for Julito. He's such a good boy.
He's so funny. He's so hysterical.
Ashley, I relate with Ashley a lot.
She's
I think that it's crazy that we've all like become friends the way we have, like
through Pokemon.
Yeah. Isn't that fucking bonkers? Like it's weird to think about in like the scheme of life. It's like I found like some good people, even though we're not anywhere near each other. Even Lilith over in Austria, but like how we are today, you know?
Yeah, it almost pisses me off. Not really. It's just more annoying that Lilith lives across the pond, and I've seen her 4 times, and I haven't seen you once.
I know. And we live in this, and you've met Claudia even. You were over here on the West Coast.
Yeah.
But you've talked about coming like up to Portland area.
So in the next 2 weeks, so I know you kind of answered this already, saying, oh, your mom would be fine watching a kid for, a week or so. We could totally do a road trip. Like, I would love to do that and meet the rest of the Pokemon group. Julio might be hard because he's in South America. But everyone else,
He's in Central America, though, yeah?
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
They're all gangs.
He's in Guatemala.
Yeah. I would love that. I'd love to hang out. And just bro out. Just be fun. Not gonna see Randy over at his girl. She's not my girl. We're just homies. And we once could have possibly been, but it's
You live and you learn kind of shit,
Do you ever think about that?
About
Like, I know we kind of thought about it before, but do you ever think, oh, what would life have been like
if I had moved to New Jersey?
Yeah.
I'd be like a New Jersey housewife, I guess.
Yeah.
No, I haven't thought about that, to be honest. Because I like to live in the present. Like, it didn't work that way, and so here I am. I don't know.
I love playing out those scenarios. I love playing out what if especially like for the future. Like, okay, what if this doesn't work out? What if this happens?
Well, like, what if doesn't do anything? I mean, I get it. Like, I know what it's like to like think about like, oh, what if things were different? But like, it doesn't. That's not how it is. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I just live in the present.
It's fun to think about. There's this guy named Lex Friedman, who's one of the most intelligent men in the world, and he says that you should visit another universe at least once a month. And he was talking about video games, saying like, oh, you should go and visit this universe once a month.
Yeah.
And what's your favorite universe to visit?
Ooh, that's a tie between Elder Scrolls and Legend of Zelda.
Oh, nice. Not Pokemon. Interesting.
Ooh, that's a tough one too. But I don't play that one as much as the other two. So
that's fair.
I haven't played like any of the new Pokemon. So if that answers any of your questions, then I'm replaying Majora's Mask for like the 100th time. So like.
That's fair. Dude, Catherine seems like such a good friend.
I know. I love Kat, and I love people in my Discord. That's why I sent the link over to my Discord.
Is it your Discord? Like
no, it's not my Discord, but it's like my buddies. Like we're all, I don't know, we're all one. We're all together. We're like, that's what it's for.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So there's well, I'll ask you a version of this question.
Okay.
When you're, and probably 10 years from now, it's a decade from now. Okay, is her battery done? Is she gone? We might have to go and I might have to go and shoot her a text, and I'll be like, "Hey, is your battery gone? Is your battery done?" Cat's immaculate. You love Cat, yeah. Catherine seems pretty fun. Delete my $20 super chat. I didn't delete it. The super chats is right there. I didn't delete that. My laptop died. Yep. All right. So Aubrey's gone. Plug it in or not. I'll ask her if she wants me to plug it in, or if she wants to plug it in or not. But in the meantime, I'll talk with David Yu. David Yu says, when video, David Yu? Live in the sunroom, dive into... Ooh. Blackbird says, live in the sunroom, dive into the world of digital collectibles with David Yu, founder of VV Official. And then you have VV Meister saying, when video? And David Yu says, soon. We will have that video soon. Very excited for it. Let's see what other posts we have. So Dogboy and Rita says they'll be in New York City for Comic Con. Can't wait to see you and the Fambra. Still trying to land New York City tickets for Saturday. There's most of my hotel points, but the wife said, let's go. So I'll say, let's get this bread. I love these people. They're amazing, awesome people. I love them. She's got a kiddo to go take care of. That's true. She does have a kiddo. And the kiddo is definitely waiting. So I'll go and Catherine, do you want to come on? Do you want to come on? Message me on X or Twitter at Real Randy Chavez or Instagram, The Real Randy Chavez. 3 hours is more than I get to myself, and I'm married and have support at home. I'm sure she does too. That's a good point. That's a good point. Catherine, you are a good friend. I hope you know that. I hope you know you're a good friend. Okay, that's Aubrey. Have to check, see if I can swing. Holiday months are busy. Oh, good point. Good point. No worries. Okay, so I will. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'll go in. All right, so I'll go over a couple of Omi things real quick before we go on. So Omi, at the end of the day, let's see what we have. Omi is down about 0.9% on the day at 000828. Only $602,000 in volume, so really not a ton. Let's see how the rest of the market did and how it compared. Bitcoin and Ethereum both up 0.1%. BNB down 0.2, XRP down 0.7, so we're outperforming XRP. Dogecoin is very flat. Cardano up 0.4, Solana up 0.9, and Toncoin down 0.1. Comics collectibles. So in general, the digital collectible market is very small. The comic collectible market is even smaller. I would say a bunch of the key comics, like the Grails, are going to perform better than most of what's on the app. So there's not a ton of Grails in the comics, at least not that we have on the app. In general, the collectibles, the good ones, are going to outperform most of the comics. A lot of these comics go for a couple dollars, and that's it. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Should I bring you to the bathroom? I'll bring you to the bathroom. Good friend, fantastic friend. Actually, I'm sure you are. Like I said, you seem like a good friend. Keep that up. Don't lose that. I'm sure Aubrey knows. I'm sure the rest of your friends know. If they're smart, they'll know you're a good friend. But again, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. So we're gonna. Should I bring you with me? Should I bring you with me? I'll bring you guys with me. All right. Oh, shit. Never mind from someone like you. I wish nothing. Oh, you will, shall you? Very good. I'm glad you will keep it up. 100%, very good. So I'll keep it going for a little while. I do eventually want to go to bed myself, but I will go and, again, I am no stranger to 69-hour streams. Everyone comment nice down below for the 69. Yeah, I'm glad people are supporting Aubrey, my friendo. Like Gandalf said to Legolas, Gimli, and Aragorn, says that is Shadowfax, and he's been my friend for many years. Aubrey's been my friend for almost a decade, and I love her, and I want to go and continue to be friends with her for forever. Like at the end of the day, whether you're poor, whether you're rich, whether you're in the 1% or the 99%, you just want to love people. You just want to do nothing but spend time with your friends and your loved ones and drink and listen to good music and just be happy. I'm going to meet you guys real quick. There you go. I miss you so. Seems like it's been forever that you've been gone. And go back home. So I love those songs. So one of my favorite songs. Like I'm not gonna lie, I'm very much of a. Um, I'm not. I'm kind of a. What's that called? I like big. No, not big. But I like the amount of people that like romance movies. Like I like The Proposal. I like romance things. I like Gilmore Girls. I like My Little Pony. I like things that are emotionally driven. Even like screamo music. No, I was not taking a poop. I was just utilizing the latrine. No, I wasn't. I wasn't. I swear. So I don't know. I like a lot of like let's say emotional stuff. Like there's a lot of people, especially adults, like older adults, that don't really like screamo music, and I like screamo music, and not for the reasons that you think. Like it's I think that sometimes you have to be so passionate. I think that sometimes things are so emotional that you can't just sing them. You have to scream them, and that's why I like screamo music, and that's why I like like uh, I feel like men don't like chick flicks, but they understand them. Like, oh, I hate that stuff. It's emotional, and you're in touch about your feelings, and it's they know why women like them, but they don't like them. But I feel like women don't understand why men like things like, oh, how do men like Oppenheimer? It's such a boring movie. It's 3 hours of talking about nuclear physics, and that's it. Men like to feel like they're smart. Men like to feel like we're service unavailable. I mean, I'm fine here. Okay, by all means, this doesn't ask me anything. Bob says, oh well, yes, by all means. Okay, go be love, miss you, and we'll talk soon. Okay, so Aubrey is gone for the night, but she will return at some point. Um, no, it's not service unavailable. No, you have not been muzzled. Again, ask me anything. Anyone can totally come on, and they can ask me whatever they want. I forget what we were talking about, but love. Yeah, like I said, I feel like some things are so emotional, and I like chick flicks. I like that type of stuff, and I feel like unfortunately some girls don't understand that. Oh, hey, why do you like this type of stuff? I don't know, men like war, and men like the peace cap, and men like to be able to think that they've done something. Whereas the kind of women are just like a little more go with the flow, like it doesn't matter and it's fine. Which it is. But I think that's part of the reason why I don't think I would be in a relationship again because I don't have that. I don't have that gene where I need to be with someone. I like doing things by myself. I like doing things for you guys. Speaking of which, my friend Nicole had sent a message. Oh, Rory. If Rory and Dean were a horror movie. Oh my God. I am interested. I promise I'll get anyone's blood. This is wild. Oh God, I'm back on my. All right, get out of there. We're gonna have to go over some of the stuff that David you had said. This is wild. I'm on the stream, and people are going crazy. Ha 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 ha. All right, so we're at 14 people. Let me go and talk about what David had said. David had says, thank you, a collector from Blackbirds. Thank you, a collector at heart. He says in heart, but I'm going to assume that's just a lack of English on his part. So tell me, people, what makes you? Should I interview Dashi? Maybe I should interview Dashi. I can't interview Dashi. So let me see if anyone wants to come on. Let me go and talk to my friendo and use this live stream. Copy text. I'll go to the Telegram. My guest laptop died. Anyone want to come stream? And I'll get some more people on. Oh, shoot. My guest's laptop died. Want to stream? Come on and talk with me. Well, I hope my friend Autumn does it. She's a super fun gal. She hasn't seen my messages though. We'll talk about Gary O. This is Nice Mint, talking about my Genie number 45 that I bought for $160. So be advised, guys. For Vivi, I've had 100. There's a gold logo that I want to mint, and the gold logo that I want to get is going to cost me thousands of dollars. If it goes through, which half of me is hoping it does, half of me is hoping it doesn't. If it goes through, I'll get it, and it'll be great. If it doesn't go through, I'll get another million or so owe me, and probably the million or so owe me will be what is best for the long term. But that Vivi logo. Let's go over a couple of Vivi things right now, and then we'll. Oh shoot. Sarah Austin says good morning from Asia, so she's in Asia. Good for her. Good for her. Start collecting. Let me go and talk to some friendos. Send you a link. Hilarious. Who is this? Okay. Anyone want to stream? I will get some more people on here for you guys to be entertained. So let's go over today's drop, which is Black Widow. So Black Widow is currently, there's only 62 of her for sale, and she's at $26, so she's pretty much at retail. But there's nothing really that's close. There's number 98 for $65. There's really not a lot considering that there's only 1752. So 2132 minus 1752 equals 380 times 3 times 30. There's only $11,400 that were made today from that. So I'm not super impressed with it. But let's go and talk about Aladdin. All right, so we go to Genie. Genie's at $20, and probably 120 for the 120 for the. You can get number 98 for $98. That's very cheap. Number 58 for 119 or 120. I think that's fine. Number 48 for 182. That might be okay. Oh, number 41 is $1,100. That's not bad either. And we'll go to Aladdin. So Aladdin is $20. So it should probably be $80, sub 100. You can actually get them for $73, number 79, which is fine. And then we'll go to Jasmine. Jasmine's kind of the chase because there's only 904 of her. She's at $59, so she is above retail by like 50%. And at $59, should probably have a sub 100 of like 130. And you can get number 65 for 120, 64 for 128. There's really nothing in the sub 50s that are worth it. But let's go over a couple other things. Let's go over Frozen. So Frozen, you're looking at Anna. Anna she's $87 at the floor. Take a look at her sub 100s for Anna. Really nothing takes a look as far as sub 100s. The cheapest is number 91 at 159. The rest are relatively small. We'll take a look at Elsa. Elsa is the rare in this one. So she is at number 20 she's at $29, but the sub 100s on her should probably be about 100-ish. You can get number 70 for 109, and that's about it. And then you have Olaf. Olaf I do have. He's animated, he has sound. He's actually at retail at about $40. And nothing really compares to him. But the last one that we're going to go over as far as the Disney stuff is The Lion King. So you have Rafiki at $15.15 gems, which is about $60 and 60.60 gems for the sub 100s, but the cheapest is number 84 for 84 gems, which is okay. We'll do Scar again. I thought he was about 70. He's about $74 right now. So the sub 100 should be about 160. You can get number 64 for 150, and that's about it. That's about the cheapest one that you can get. And then you have Simba. Simba, I think, is a sleeping giant, $38.50. I think he should be much higher because he's only one of him. He's animated, and let's say 40 times 6, so about 240. His cheapest sub 100 is currently about 250. That's okay. I don't think it's anything to really write home about. And I'll go over the Marvel Mighties in a little bit. Good morning from Asia, says Sarah Austin. Who didn't follow back yet? So I'll say always follow. Love Sarah Austin. Let me go and talk to people that may or may not want to be interviewed. My friend John Chan says, what time should I head over? I'm like, head over now, because he's a fun guy. I'll text Tamara. She's always down to come on. I'm like, hey. I'll text Fanny. Want to come on stream? Because Fanny's always good to have on. Anyone want to see Fanny Carbonell? I would totally love to go and interview her real quick. Let's see who else is on here. Okay, I don't really want to go into that. Let me call my friend Erica. I'll shoot her a text. Like, hey, you awake? And I'm like, hey, come stream with me. Hero made 20 times their pack drop compared to what Vivi made on this drop today. So Wes, can you tell me how often they drop packs? And how many, so they had a drop today and they made 20 times what Vivi made today. So let's see what Vivi had made, and then we'll go from there. So Vivi has, for this Black Widow, 2132, right? So we do number 2132, and then we subtract 1752, 380 times 30, so 11,040. If we multiply it by 20, apparently Hero made $228,000 today. If they did, I think that's fantastic. If Hero had gone on, oh my God. Bad. Oh my God, Heather. Hi,
how are you?
Oh, I'm so good. This is the second time in a week that I'm able to talk to you guys.
I know. You're so lucky. We've had a few drinks. We're at a bar.
Oh, dude, same. I'm not at a bar, but I've had plenty of drinks today. Heather, are you coming to New York Comic Con?
Let's go up. We can't reach here. Okay, wait, we're gonna go over here. We can hear better.
Okay.
It's not gonna alarm, is it? Okay.
We're listening to my favorite band right now. My favorite band is Scarlet Fever. They're amazing.
Okay, let's turn this way.
I love them. Can you hear them? They're so good.
So
I love them.
first off, I love you guys, and I'm so jealous that you guys get to spend so much time together.
Heather's like become a really good friend.
I know. I was just telling someone that the other day because I was telling Karen. Karen, oh my God, actually it was today. I was like, Karen,
drinks.
you have not met Jennifer, but she's been amazing, and we only met like in person like a year ago, and here we are, like besties. Love it.
We're having a great time.
But she won't make out with me, but that's okay.
No.
When can I move down there with you guys?
Say what?
When can I move down there with you guys?
And as soon as whenever you want to. Tomorrow? Next week? Whatever.
Oh, maybe.
What are you streaming about? Wait, what? Go ahead.
Oh, so maybe after Comic-Con I can go down there with you guys. But
After Comic-Con, he said.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait. I can't wait for Comic-Con.
I know.
She can't go.
Heather, are you coming?
Well,
Why
it's not like I can't go. I just have not looked into it.
Heather, look into it. Look
into it right now.
Okay, not right now. No.
Okay. So I was streaming with my friend
I'm busy.
Aubrey. My friend Aubrey was an old flame like 9 years ago. And we were just talking about the past and love and comedy and all that jazz. It was a fun stream. But her laptop.
I did Kundalini yoga today.
You had what?
You love and pass. I did Kundalini yoga today. That's kind of related, right? Like healing the past and the relationships and like connecting with our vibe and like raising our vibration. I got that.
Yeah. So before last year, when me and Fam Bam had met in San Diego, in DCon of 2021, me and Heather super bonded. We had a very awesome time. Just we took like 45 minutes and we just talked, just the two of us.
Aww. At the bar.
Yeah, at the
and
bar.
No one knew where we were. It was really funny.
Kind of like
Cody's like, where is she? Yeah.
And I love that. I wish that would have been recorded because we had a really good conversation.
Yeah, no, that was not recordable.
Randy, you seem very calm.
What's going on?
Just
saying.
Oh, I'm very drunk. I've had a lot of.
We're trying to get there.
I am there.
Are you?
So when you come out, will you do yoga with me?
I'll try.
Oh, he will.
You will love Karen. She's amazing. She's my yoga instructor at the Blue Buddha. It's amazing. Like the hot yoga and like it's so amazing. Like it's so good. So great.
He hasn't invited me yet.
Well, yeah, you have you're on my Facebook thing every day. I'm like, come to this, come to that, come to.
I don't see it. I don't get on Facebook very much.
She's lying. She's in this group I have, this Arizona group I have, where it invites them to everything in Arizona that's going on, like yoga wise.
Apparently, I haven't seen it.
She's just making up stories now because she feels like
I see her post all the time on Facebook.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I don't post all the time on Facebook.
You posted yesterday.
Yesterday. My best friend and I were just being like really stupid on the phone, and we were like, "Oh, we made some posts."
Wait, I wasn't there. What time up?
Oh, I know.
So, Fam Bam, why won't you make out with Heather?
Because I don't do that. No,
she's talking about. I'm just messing with.
No, we were at the movie.
I'm in the guys. I was just totally like, it's a joke. It's a joke.
Yeah.
It's
no.
Totally
okay.
joke,
When last weekend when we were doing the thing for Silicon,
like gorgeous, and I totally would make out with her, but I'm really into guys. Like
awkward. Joking. Okay, but anyways, last weekend when we were doing the Silicon thing, we were at the movie thing. We were joking. I don't remember what we were talking about.
It's a joke.
And then out of nowhere, she was just like, "Jennifer, I'm not going to make out with you." I'm like, "Okay."
Well, no, it was a joke. And the guy, okay, so we're just sitting at the bar now, and the guy like next to me is talking to me. He's like, "So that's your girlfriend, right?" I was like, "Yeah, my girlfriend." He's like, "Well, like your girlfriend." I'm like, "She's my friend, and she's a girl." I'm like, "I'm into guys." He's like, "Oh, I never would have got that."
Oh my God, are you serious? I didn't know this. Oh my God. I
I'm like, what? Like, it's totally like this ongoing joke that keeps going, like going, like going.
I don't do the girl thing, and I never have.
But it's funny. Like, it's just funny.
Yeah, I have no
It's funny.
I understand. So Fam Bam is strictly Dickly, and and Heather is mostly that, but we'll
Yeah, no, I'm
switch
like 99% into guys. Yeah.
cool. Good to know.
There's like only that 1% where I'll be like, oh, she's hot.
So I know
I can appreciate a beautiful woman.
Like, oh, she's really pretty. Like, yeah,
but I have
like,
no desire to mess with her.
She's pretty. Like,
so question: would you guys ever date within the VV fam?
Would we ever date? No.
Within the VV fam.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was like.
All right. So immediate yes from Fam Bam. What about you, Heather? Would you date within?
Would you date
VV
somebody
fam?
that's in the VV fam?
Yeah. Why not? Why roam when you can stay at home?
I love you guys so much.
Hey, where's Bill? Is he in the comments?
No, Bill's in like Europe or some shit. I don't know. Where
Oh,
he
that's
is.
why. Okay, I did the whole thing yesterday. I went to the restaurant, I posted, and nothing. He hasn't followed me back. He hasn't said anything about the food.
No one's like really watching us right now, even though we're live, right?
Yeah, there's like 9 people. There's not a lot of people.
There's like 9 people.
Only
Yeah.
9?
Who are the 9 people?
I don't
can't see.
know.
Don't
So
know.
it was the reason there's not a lot of people is because I was interviewing my friend Aubrey, who has no idea what VV is, and we were just friends like 10 years ago, and we just had that. So it was not VV centered.
Invite.
Oh, so we have X Force here. X Force is in the house.
Hey.
Stan is in the house. Stan,
What? Well, I can't hear him.
Who's in the house?
Stan.
Who?
He
Dan?
bought-
I am in
he
the
bought a
house.
shirt from
He
me.
said he is in the house.
Yeah, if there's any professional behavior like expected right now, I'm not your person.
Yeah. Last weekend that was me. Last weekend I haven't been like I've been losing weight. I've been eating better. Last Friday with the whole silicone thing, it didn't take me a lot. I got really drunk.
Dance. We should go dance.
Okay, we gotta go.
Come dance with us.
I cannot wait.
So
See-
Robin's amazing. Like, oh my god, she's amazing. The
Who?
lead singer at this band.
Oh,
the
yeah.
band, she's
Yeah.
amazing. Like, I love her.
Wait,
Okay, you guys
Heather,
stay. I'm gonna go dance.
No, we're gonna go. I'm gonna go with her.
Heather,
So-
why can't you come to New York Comic Con?
Because I don't really know if I want to. I mean, I want to, as in like I would if I had no responsibilities at home, like no job and no kids and no school, like and no pets. I would be there.
I got all
But
that.
just because I have all
I'm
that,
going.
it's a lot.
I have all that, and I'm going.
Yeah, Fema has that.
It's a lot.
Heather, I miss you, and I miss Fam Bam too. But I've seen Fam Bam recently. I haven't seen you, Heather, in a while.
Recently,
Yeah, we saw each other last year.
I saw you last year. I saw you at
last time, Randy. Last time I was around you, Randy was at
I saw you
Decon
at
also.
Decon, Randy. I saw you
Yeah.
at Decon.
So you at Decon
You're
also,
just
Randy.
missing the fact that you saw my car, Omi Homie, and you were like telling everybody about it.
That's some cool stuff.
That's
I
me.
I miss you guys. So what's the drink of the day?
Oh my gosh, we had wine and we had
Yeah, we had Lumbrisco,
Fireball, and vodka.
Now I'm drinking Jack and Coke now.
You guys have had fun.
So far, the night's still young. It's 9 o'clock.
It's 12 o'clock for me. It's midnight here.
That's
It's
true.
9 o'clock for me.
That sucks for you.
And 9 o'clock for her too.
Oh, I wanna hang out with you guys. I wanna be
Well,
friends.
We're gonna make the plan at Comic-Con.
If you keep trying, it might happen.
Talk about it. Got to be about it.
I can't wait. We're gonna do it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Okay, good.
Okay, make it happen. Manifest it, Randy. Manifest it.
It will. Within 6 months.
Sending positive vibes for manifestations.
6 months. 6 months.
Oh, lion. Ah. Tiger.
Within 6 months, it'll happen.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
I'm gonna hold you to it.
Okay, we got it. Yeah, I can't wait. Peace.
Okay, we're gonna go.
Namaste.
Peace
Okay,
out.
bye guys.
Namaste. Hasta luego.
Meow meow.
Hasta mañana.
Bye guys.
Bye. How do I go? Right there.
Ciao.
Bye guys. Love you guys.
They're so much fun. I will at some point, and it's because when was the last time you guys have seen me have friends over? Having friends on the podcast was December of 2021. Yeah, December of 2021. I had friends on the podcast for New Year's. I don't get to see a lot of my friends. And they're in Arizona. There's a lot of people. There's Rudy and Tina. There's a Wet Wizard Vivi. There's Fam Bam. There's Heather from Karoga. Tamara Hannah's going to move down there. Unfortunately, I do have work here, and I can make a little bit of money here, but Omi's going to triple by the end of the year, most likely. So that's why. It gets 120 degrees in Phoenix in summer, right? I was in 130-degree weather in Kuwait in 2016, right? I am no stranger to the heat. I am no stranger. And in Kuwait, we did not have air conditioning. In Kuwait, we suffered for it was fine in February, March, April. Late April, the sandstorms started happening, and in May it got super hot, and it was hot from late May to June, July, August. Like it was May, June, July, August. It was very hot. But yeah, like I said, I'm no stranger to that. But I want to go and talk to people. So let's see who else I can get on. So Autumn is not available. Fanny is not available. My friend Lilith is not available. Okay, so Hood Squirrel says, did your premium pack sold out? $261,000 worth of premium packs sold in 3 days, excluding bundle sales. Standard packs will be gone next. So $261 is what they made on their drops. What Hero made on the drops. Like this is great. How often do they do this? So I will ask that question. How often does Hero make $250,000? I hope they make it a lot. If they do, great. If not, then I don't know if I'd really. I mean, you got to celebrate the small victories. You got to celebrate that. Anyway, let's go through some more VV stuff here. The Russian nesting dolls. Let's go to the Marvel Mighties. Before we go to the Marvel Mighties, let's take a look at Maestro Hulk. And when we take a look at him, let's see how many of him are available. Let's see how many of him are in sub 100s. So we take a look at what's on the floor. He's $27 on the floor. And the cheapest sub 100 is number 94 for $69. I'm number 71 for $84. I think that's not that bad. But then we'll go to the Marvel Mighties. We'll have Guardians of the Galaxy. We'll have so a friend of mine, Lewis, has he got Captain Carter, he got Adam Warlock, and he got the Deadpool Chimichanga truck, which I think is really cool. He got 3 sets today, cost him less than $60. Thought that was fantastic. So Adam Warlock goes for $23.50. And if you take a look at his sub 100s, none of them are good. None of them are worth it. So we take a look at the Marvel Mighties, the Guardians of the Galaxy. You have Cosmo. Now Cosmo, the floor is $63. The cheapest sub 100 is number 58 at $130. That's a lot. I don't think I would do that, so I'm not going to do it. Drax is an ultra rare at $18, which means 36. So it would be $72 for a sub 100. The cheapest of him is 99, so I don't think any of his is worth it. Unless his sub 50 was like 120. No, his number 55 is 115, so it's not worth it. We'll do Mantis next. Mantis is over at $7.45, so let's say I'm 642. Let's say $45 for her sub 100s. The cheapest of her is actually not showing up. Cheapest of her, we take a look at them, is $43. It may or may not be worth it. I'm not sure. But if you take a look at Nebula, Nebula is at $7. That's super cheap. I'm gonna buy her. I'm gonna buy her at $7. I did. I just bought Nebula at $7. Very, very cheap. Anyway, now she's $8.75 for the floor. And if you take a look at her sub 100s, the number 88 is 48. That may or may not be okay. I don't know. But we'll look at Peter Quill. Peter Quill is at $10 on the floor. So a sub 100 should be about $14. I'm sorry, $140. But his sub 100, ooh, he's got number 93 at 69 gems. That is not bad. That is not bad. I'm not going to buy it, but that's not bad. So if we take a look at Rocket, who's 126 gems, and you take a look at his sub 100s, his sub 100 is number 87 at 180. I don't think it's really worth it right now, but we'll take a look at the next one, which is the Ant-Man Quantum Mania. We'll take a look at Cassie first. Cassie Lang, I think, is the future of the Avengers, $8.95 for the floor, and you take a look at the sub 100s, $249 for the floor. I really don't think that's worth it. So we'll take a look at Hope Van Dyne, which is the Wasp, who's $8 for the floor, times 8, so it'll be $64. But there is no sub 100 under $500, so it's not really worth it. Take a look at Ant-Man. Ant-Man goes on and has 35 for sale. He's at $10 a token, so I would say that $100. But the cheapest of him is $299, so that is also not worth it as well. M'Baku, which is $33, 33 of him for sale, $5.50. His floor is number 48 at 90, which is not a bad deal. I think that's actually a pretty good deal. But I'm not going to get it. Nokia at $6.28 should be about $45 or $50 per sub 100. There are no sub 100s of Nokia. So let's take a look at Namor, who's $90 at the floor, which is very interesting. And the cheapest sub 100 is number 91 at $260. I don't think that's really worth it. We'll go to Okoye. Okoye, 27 of her. The floor is $7.50 times 8. So let's say $87. The cheapest one is number 42 at $249. I don't think it's really worth it. We'll go over other stuff later. But I do have a lot to go over at another point. So please comment, like, subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say goodbye to Dashi. Goodbye, Dashi. I love you guys. Bye. Thanks for the super chats. I love you guys. Never mind, I'll find someone.